On day 1, I spawned into the world in the middle of a deep, dark pit as a shadow dog. I guess it makes sense for a baby shadow dog to appear in darkness, but where exactly am I? Before I could even think about escaping, a mysterious mason appeared on the edge of the pit. He was carrying a firework crossbow.
So you're finally here. We knew an entity of great evil would appear in the overworld in the form of an animal, thanks to a prophecy, but now we have you bound, and there is nothing you can do to escape. One wrong move, and I'll vanquish you with this firework crossbow, demon dog.
I'm not a demon dog. I'm a shadow dog. There's been some kind of mistake.
Prophecies don't make mistakes. You will be bound here forever.
I tried to turn and run into an adjoining tunnel, making my way further into the darkness. I've got 6 hearts. I need to be careful out here. But my escape was scuppered when I saw that some masons with more firework crossbows were already waiting in the tunnels.
Stop right there, demon dog.
Uh-oh, looks like I may be in this one for the long haul. On day 2, the masons captured me and brought me to the edge of a steep quarry inside of their base. It was so deep that I couldn't even see the bottom.
You're gonna go in there until we figure out what to do with you. Now go down that staircase.
I don't want to do that. I want to go free.
You'll have a chance to plead your case once we consult the ancient mason manuals. Until then, you're in the pit, demon dog.
I was caught between a rock quarry and a firework crossbow. I chose to listen to the mason and went down the ladders to the bottom of the pit. The masons broke the ladders behind me so I couldn't climb out. And there, I waited for them to return and decide my fate, and waited and waited. This sure is taking a while. I am one bored puppy. I decided to look around the pit, admiring how skilled the stonework was. These masons really know how to mine. Then suddenly, one of the stones started moving around, but it wasn't a regular stone. It was a stoneling.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm Sylvester the Stoneling. The masons accidentally brought me to life when they chipped me out of the stone. But enough about me. What's your name?
I'm Zozo, a baby shadow dog. I was born in darkness, molded by it. And right now, I'm trying to get free of this pit.
Hey, that's great. I know a way to help you out. There's a secret passage that only I know about because I'm made of stone, you see.
I followed Sylvester through the stone passage until we reached another pit. But this one was just on the edge of the mason's base. Oh, if only I could climb these walls, I'd be free.
That's all? Forget about it. You can climb those walls easy peasy.
How do you know that?
Because I'm made of stone. Now show me you can go the distance, Zozo.
Feeling inspired by Sylvester's words, I soon found that he was right, and I was able to climb the walls to freedom. Thank you, Sylvester. You're a real good guy.
Anytime, Zozo. And just remember, I'm made of stone.
On day 3, I ran freely through the Red Rock Highlands as a lone shadow dog on the run. So far, my life has been pretty rough. Get it? Rough? Rough? I'm a dog. My hunger meter was looking rough as well, so I searched for food to quiet my growling stomach. I soon found a tree and hoped I wasn't barking up the wrong one. I was in luck, as this was an apple tree. I found one that had already fallen and gobbled it up to restore my meter. Phew, that was close. Now, back to freedom. I was heading somewhere new when I saw a reindeer standing in my path. There was something unusual about it, but I didn't really know what. We stared at each other for a few moments. Then the reindeer spoke.
Spawn of shadows, you have found your way to the overworld from the darkness below. It is wonderful that we should meet on this day.
I'll say, you're the first new friend I've met since I escaped those lousy masons. They wanted to keep me trapped because of some old tradition.
I too have had struggles with those masons in the past. They build walls and create structures and rules to bind us. We are both beings that can exist beyond what they can control.
I agree completely! Do you know how I can escape them for good?
Follow me to the Black Forest. All will be revealed there.
I nodded, and the reindeer guided me out the Rock Highlands. From day 4 to day 5, I walked through the shadowy underbrush of the Black Forest, a place that felt strangely like home. The reindeer brought me to a grove at the heart of the forest. There, in the clearing, stood a great temple made of enchanted metal and stone.
This is my home. It is a place of light and tranquility where I often rest. You will find it calming, as shadows are strongest when a bright light is near.
Whoa! I want to build a base this amazing for myself.
You'll have your chance, Zozo, but for now, you are my guest.
The reindeer led me inside the temple, which was even cooler and more epic on the inside. Thanks for taking me here. Now, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about?
You wanted to know how you could be rid of the Masons, correct?
Oh yeah, that's right. How can I do that?
The Masons are an ancient order, and their roots run deep throughout the overworld. Through their expertise at both mining and crafting, they have become the masters of the land and the stone caves below. Not everything is in their control. Primal energy, such as the shadow within you, threatens them because it cannot be used to build new buildings. You must build a temple to protect yourself from them, as they will never tear down a structure made of stone. It's against their rules.
Build a home, be safe. Got it.
You'll catch on quick, but you'll need these.
The reindeer gave me a stone pickaxe that would let me dig for building materials.
Also, do not forget that you are capable of more than the Masons will tell you. You are a shadow, and under the right light, a shadow can be anything.
That's for the words of wisdom, my reindeer friend. I'll build a temple home in no time. After I left the reindeer's home, I found a spot in the lush bamboo jungle where it seemed like the right place to build. I dug some holes and started mining stone with my pickaxe. Not too long after I started, a mason showed up.
Hey, who is digging in these holes?
Thinking fast, I remembered what reindeer said and focused on becoming whatever I needed to be. I shapeshifted into a mason, surprising even myself. Just me, digging holes for mason stuff.
Oh, sorry to bother you. Dig away. I'll be back at our base if you need help.
The mason left, and I changed back to my shadow dog form. Huh, I really am more than I thought I was. That realization made me level up, head out of my puppy phase, and increased my health to a total of 10 hearts. From day 6 to day 8, I was taking a break from building my new base when I heard a strange noise in the distance. Whoa, I wonder what's up with that. I decided to go for a walk and check out the source. When I arrived at the spot, I saw the ground was destroyed, and there was an entrance to a cave down below. Good old friend, Sylvester the Stoneling, was standing in the cave entrance.
Hey, Zozo, be careful. It's not safe up there on the overworld. It's dangerous.
Is that why you're down there in the cave?
Yeah, I'm taking cover. You should too.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'm strong and capable of anything.
You're pretty great. Nobody can do everything alone. I should know. I'm made of stone.
He disappeared back underground, hiding himself away. Later on, I went back to visit the reindeer of the Black Forest and told him about what happened with the strange noise. It was like zoom, boom, you know?
It seems that you have encountered another form of limitless energy in the world. You should count yourself lucky if you were able to observe its greatness.
I wish I could have gotten a closer look.
You may have another opportunity. There is a place called the Twilight Valley where the powers of shadow and light intermingle. More knowledge lies there than the Masons would ever admit. I recommend you see it for yourself.
I just might take you up on that. From day 9 to day 10, I followed a mystical path of intuition until I came upon the Twilight Valley. It was clearly a place of incredible power. I could feel it in my doggy fur. This is where my powers of shadow come from? I had better see if I can master some new abilities here. Just then, I was charged by a giant moose and lost a bunch of hearts. Hey, no fair sneak attacking like that. I'm supposed to be the stealthy one.
I am the guardian of this valley, and I say that there are powers here that no creature should command.
Oh yeah? Well, you're a creature too. How come you get to decide?
Enough chit-chat. I will do my duty as guardian and bulldoze you.
The moose was a tough opponent, and I had never been in a direct fight before. My attacks were bouncing off of him like nothing. That's when I saw a flash of light destroy the ground. A huge hole had opened up that was almost 100 blocks deep. Suddenly, I knew what I had to do. I ran to the edge of the pit, letting the moose chase me, and dangled over the edge with my climb wall ability. Just as I planned, the moose charged too far and flew over the side of the cliff into the pit. The fall damage finished him off in one hit. Yeah, I won. But boy, am I hurting. I heard a familiar voice from down below. It was Sylvester the Stoneling.
Zozo, you look like you could use a healing potion. I got one of those.
I climbed to the bottom and drank up the healing potion that Sylvester offered. Thanks, Sylvester. You're pretty reliable.
That's because I'm made of stone. Didn't I tell you to beware of the light, though?
You did. What exactly did you mean by that?
I meant that the light is dangerous, especially for shadows like you. Under the right light, a shadow can be made into anything.
Huh, that's not how I heard the saying before.
And you didn't hear it from me.
Sylvester ran back into the safety of his cave. He definitely seemed scared of something. I didn't feel like chasing after him. That reindeer knew more about energy than anyone else I knew, so maybe I could find the truth by asking him. From day 11 to day 12, I searched the Black Forest until I found the reindeer's temple and went inside. The reindeer was standing by a large window, seemingly lost in thought.
Zozo, I didn't expect to see you back here so soon. Did you gather the power of the Twilight Valley?
No, I didn't know how, and I was attacked by a guardian moose before I could figure anything out.
Did you defeat the Guardian?
Yeah, I managed somehow.
That is acceptable. You'll have it easier next time. Now please, leave for now. I'm not in the mood for company.
I could tell that I was bothering my reindeer friend, not wanting to be rude. I left and went mining for more building material for my base. In a cave deep beneath the ground, I managed to come across some iron ore. I quickly built a furnace and smelted the ore into ingots. All right, now I can upgrade my tools. The first thing I did was make an iron pickaxe to replace my stone one. Then, I made an iron sword and iron helmet to protect myself in a fight. It was good thinking, because a fight is exactly what I walked into the moment I left the cave.
Demon Dog, what are you doing to our mines?
No use explaining. You guys don't listen. I drew my sword and clashed with the Masons, defeating them until none were left in the group. I know there are more Masons in their base. I better head to Twilight Valley and master the powers of Shadow before they send a bigger group of guys. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to the Twilight Valley, which was now without its guardian. This time, nothing would stop me from achieving my true potential. I am here to become one with the shadows. But I still didn't know how. My reindeer friend hadn't been very helpful the last time. Maybe I'll just stare at the sky for a while? And so I did, until a wild raccoon sat down beside me. It turned and looked at me with wise eyes before saying,
"You are a warrior of shadow. I thought I was the last one."
"Well, it looks like you're not, 'cause I'm here. Is there anything you can teach me about my shadow powers? I'm trying to be free of the Masons."
The Masons? Are you not aware of your true enemy?
True enemy?
Mark my words, Shadow Dog. The Masons may try to make rules to order you around, but you must be even more suspicious of creatures of light. Where they are, a shadow can have no freedom.
Light? As in that destructive light from above?
It walks among you as well. That is all I can say. We may never meet again.
The raccoon vanished into the shadows. Light that walks among me? What did he mean? Still, this was closer to understanding the mysteries of the shadows than before. I decided to leave the Twilight Valley and go see reindeer. From day 16 to day 19, I visited the reindeer's temple in the Black Forest, once again unannounced. Reindeer, you've got some splaining to do. The reindeer rose from the floor dramatically.
What did I tell you about coming here without my permission, Zozo?
That can wait. I was told to beware of a dangerous light that seeks to control shadows. You need to tell me what it is, because I think I might be in danger.
You are mistaken. There is no danger as long as you cooperate with me. Now be gone.
Once again, I was cast out of the temple without answers. I returned back to my base, which at this point was just about finished. It's good to know that I'll be safe from the Mason. Just then, Sylvester the Stoneling also rose from the ground dramatically. Sylvester, what are you doing here?
Just had to be a big shot, didn't ya? Without its guardian, the Twilight Valley is completely unprotected.
Huh? Unprotected? From what?
The light, Zozo! The light! I'm made of stone!
I heeded Sylvester's words and made a mad dash for the Twilight Valley. I arrived to find destruction and carnage. Standing in the middle of it all was my reindeer friend. Hey, what is this? What's going on?
You still haven't realized? Oh, then let me spell it out for you. Just as you are a shadow dog, I am a light reindeer.
A light reindeer? You're the light that walks among us?
I was, but now I am something greater. You will address me as the light, and you will obey.
So this time you... Before I could finish my sentence, the reindeer, no, the light blasted me with a laser. I didn't see how many hearts I lost. I didn't see anything at all. I fell unconscious. From day 20 to day 22, my eyes opened and I found myself at the bottom of an enormous crater that used to be the Twilight Valley. Flashes of what had happened swirled in my head. My reindeer friend, no, my enemy, the light, decimated the valley and absorbed its mysteries. I started walking, searching for anything or anyone that may have survived the light. Hello? Hello? I spotted a cave, and that's where Sylvester the Stoneling was standing. I was happy to see him.
You must be made of stone too if you survived that. Well, you're not. Only I'm made of stone. Still, it's good to see ya.
Sylvester, where did the light go after he attacked me?
I don't know. It's not safe out here in the open. Do you have a base we could go to?
Yes, I never told the light where it was. For now, it should keep us both behind sturdy walls. We both went back to the bamboo forest, and I built a cavern basement for Sylvester to live in. Stonelings prefer to live around stone, after all. All this thinking of building made me remember the Masons. I wondered how their organization was reacting to the light being on the loose. Guess I'm making a trip back to the Red Rock Highlands. From day 23 to day 26, I traveled the Red Rock Wastelands. It had been a long time, so I wasn't sure where the Masons' base was anymore. Still, I was determined to find it, and nothing will distract me. Except, it turned out, a cry for help from a fellow canine in need, who was being attacked by another fellow canine who needed to be stopped. Running from the snapping jaws of a foxhound, the striped hyena cried out,
Help! Shadow Dog! Save me!
Never fear, Shadow Dog is here! I drew my iron sword and attacked the foxhound from behind. It was startled by the sneak attack, and I was able to get in a few more hits. Go on, I can handle this. The striped hyena ran away. It was just me and the foxhound fighting now, and I was starting to think I couldn't actually handle it. My number of hearts was dropping fast. No, I can't give up. Gotta keep fighting! I am Shadow Dog! I awakened an inner source of strength and began to cut the foxhound down to size. My sword strikes were fast and powerful, but as I struck the last blow, my sword broke. The foxhound was vanquished, but I had lost my weapon. Or had I? The experience from the battle leveled me up again and gave me a claw attack that would now be my main form of damage dealing. I had 24 hearts too, more than making up for what I had lost in the fight. From day 27 to day 31, I was still on my quest to find the Mason's base, but I made a slight detour when I discovered a burrow full of rabbits. Realizing that these rabbits would be a great source of food, I asked Sylvester the Stoneling to help me dig a tunnel that would lead the rabbits back to base. Soon, we had a rabbit habitat in the bamboo forest. Now I'd have sustainable dog food for the rest of my days. Couldn't have done it without you, Sylvester.
That's not all, Zozo. I also built a storage room for everything that isn't rabbits.
Sylvester had indeed expanded the base with his stonecraft. Maybe he was even as good a builder as the mason who had accidentally created him. Meanwhile, in the Black Forest, the Light was plotting his next move inside of his temple. I could only guess at what the mysteries of the Twilight Valley had revealed to him before he destroyed it. He had also summoned a new minion, a mystical dragon, a forbidden power known as the Naga.
I would like you to bring Zozo the Shadow Dog to me. It seems that he was more resilient to my influence than I expected.
It is a great honor to serve under the Avatar of Light. You will not be disappointed.
From day 32 to day 35, I decided that if I wanted to have any kind of hope for defeating the Light Reindeer, I'd need intel and I'd need reinforcements. They may have kidnapped me before, but there's no denying that the Masons have at least some idea of what's going on here. I walked up to their fortress in the formidable Red Rock Highlands and waited. Soon enough, a Mason with a firework crossbow came out to greet me.
So, the monster has returned. Take a step closer, and I'll dispel your shadows with a blast of a firework.
Please, I come in peace. As a shadow dog, don't you think I would have just snuck in? I know about the Light Reindeer now. He was your prophesied monster, and I want to help you defeat him.
How do I know you're not trying to deceive me?
Leave us to our reason, or else destroy us both.
That convinces me somehow. Please follow me into the Hall of Masonic Secrets. You will meet the being that gave us our sacred prophecies.
I followed him inside and went down a corridor into a mysterious room. There, a jackal was waiting for me. I could tell he was powerful and wise.
Welcome, Zozo. I felt your power as soon as you entered the overworld, but I'm glad that you're choosing to use this power for good.
So, you're the commander of the Masons?
I don't think of myself as a commander. I'm more of a guide, and with my guidance, you will defeat the Light Reindeer.
Then let's get started. From day 36 to day 39, I continued my adventure, descending into a mining cave with my iron pickaxe in hand. I need to gather my resources and steel myself, or the forces of light are going to burn me out of this world. Down in the mine, I hacked through the earth until I could get my hands on some iron and diamonds. Ooh yeah, this'll do nicely. I went back to my base in the bamboo jungle and got to forging until I had a few more pieces of iron armor. I'll hide this inside my shadow shrouds, and it'll keep me defended from deadly Light Reindeer attacks. Afterwards, my good friend Sylvester the Stoneling approached with a gift.
Hey, Zozo! I can see you going through it at the moment, and I sympathize. Just 'cause I rock doesn't mean I'm made of stone, though I am made of stone. I brought you a cool sword, the Netherite Slash Sword to be specific.
OMG, Sylvester, this is amazing! Also, I feel bad for not asking. What's your full name?
LaStone, Sylvester LaStone.
I went out to chop some bamboo with my awesome new sword when a gold golem emerged from the chutes.
Psst, psst. Go see the sacred jackal! You'll never see me again after this scene.
Thank you, mysterious golem. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to the base of the Masons and the sacred jackal. The jackal himself was waiting for me.
Zozo, thank goodness you came. I was worried that the Naga had gotten to you first.
The Naga? That doesn't sound good.
Your ears don't deceive you. It isn't good. The Naga is a nightmarish reptilian beast that has devoured many creatures that I'm sad to say were far stronger than you.
Well, how will I beat it? That's the only thing that truly matters, right?
You're a shadow dog, Zozo, so why aren't you thinking like one? You're not meant to fight head-on. You're meant to use stealth and subterfuge. The darkness is your friend. Think on these things, Zozo.
That certainly seemed very deep and interesting, but it didn't help me. I turned and left the base, trying to think of what practical advice I can take. What can I do? That's when I saw something huge and horrifying. A great beast flying out of the crags. The Naga! It hadn't spotted me yet, but I didn't have much time. Thinking quickly, I shapeshifted into the light reindeer and did everything I could to keep up the form. The Naga saw me and flew down.
Master, I'm surprised to see you are here. I was coming here to find and devour that shadow dog.
Actually, Naga, I changed my mind on that. You can leave the shadow dog alone. He's a very nice guy. The Naga started to laugh. What's so funny?
Master, you told me if I saw you outside, and you told me that, not to listen to you, and instead just devour the shadow dog no matter what.
Oh, crud. I needed to think fast. Yes. Very good, Naga. I was just testing you. Now I must be going. Happy hunting. I moved away as quickly as I could, feeling lucky that I made it out alive thanks to my stealth and my smarts. And next time, I might not be so lucky. From day 44 to day 49, I was relaxing at my base, feeling relieved at my narrow escape from the Naga. I can tell that Naga is powerful and dangerous, even if he isn't the brightest bulb in the box. How can I stop that thing and then take out the light reindeer? As though he heard my words, the sacred jackal entered once again.
Hello there, Zozo. It's good to see that you're still alive. I heard about your close encounter with the Naga. Clever boy. Now you're thinking like a true shadow dog.
It saved my skin once. I'm not counting on that working twice. How can I actually defeat these entities, Jackal?
I've been paying some thought to this. In the Masonic scriptures, there was once a legendary sword, the Ravager sword, that is so powerful it could erase even concepts.
Oh my gosh, that's insane! I could definitely defeat the light reindeer with that. Where can I find it?
Good question. Go to the Twilight Valley, or whatever is left of it, and seek out the counsel of Marty Mungus. He may know more than I.
From day 50 to day 53, I traveled back to the ruined remains of the Twilight Valley, which still felt like it was haunted by the ghosts of bad memories. A light reindeer really messed this place up. If I don't stop him, he could do this everywhere. But the sober seriousness of the situation was interrupted by the creature I came here to see, the bizarre little beast known as Marty Mungus.
Wee-hee-hee! I will give my knowledge to thee, if thou can answer my queries 3.
Why do you talk like that?
Query 1. If a rooster lays an egg while standing on top of a barn roof and the wind is blowing east, which side of the barn roof will the egg roll down?
The east side, right?
Wrong! It was a trick question. Roosters don't lay eggs. Query 2.
I'm good. You can keep your queries to yourself, Mr. Mungus. I'd rather have another fight with the light reindeer than listen to those other 2 queries. From day 54 to day 57, having had a frustrating conversation with Marty Mungus, I decided to return to the Red Rock Highlands and seek more advice from the Jackal. I'll take his brand of wisdom over the weird, opaque style of Marty Mungus any day. But I wouldn't reach the Mason base that day. Instead, the Naga leaped out in front of me, looking huge and terrifying.
You're a bad dog, Zozo. You thought you could trick me last time? You won't be able to get one over on me with that silly disguise trick. The Avatar of Light has given me clarity of vision.
With my netherite slash sword, I'm gonna mess your vision right up. But my words were writing checks that my sword sword couldn't catch. The Naga's power far exceeded mine, and he dominated me in the fight. All I could do was run away. Back at the Light Reindeer's temple in the Black Forest, he was watching it all through his psychic visions.
Shadows, so weak, so insubstantial. Only under my control will the true potential of your power be unlocked.
From day 58 to day 62, I was feeling weak after having to run away from Naga. When you feel weak, you need to do something strong. I'm gonna turn my furnace into a super furnace so I can forge the most awesome weapons and armor anyone has ever seen. I worked and worked and worked until I created a furnace the likes of which people had never seen before. I'm gonna call this Ultra Shadow Furnace. It was so awesome that my buddy Sylvester immediately came over to grab an eyeful.
This looks incredible, Zozo. It rocks, just like me, cause I'm made of stone. I say we christen this baby with a new build.
Oh yeah, what do you have in mind?
I was hoping you had some ideas. I've got these diamonds. Maybe they can be useful.
Those diamonds were exactly what I needed. When fused with the diamonds I'd collected earlier, I was able to build a diamond sword and some boots. This is a useful thing to have in my inventory, even if the netherite slash sword is still my favorite. From day 63 to day 66, the jackal once again arrived at my base with a certain glint in his eye.
Zozo, my masons have been hard at work, and we believe we have created the means to find the Ravager's sword you need.
That's amazing, Jackal. Let's go. He led me out deep into the cherry blossom forest, into a clearing where a strange stone structure was waiting. Whoa, what is this?
It's an end portal. We believe that the Ravager's sword was left in the Shattered Desert, so you'll need to get it there.
Wish me luck then. I jumped into the portal, but nothing happened. I was just standing among stone in the bamboo jungle.
I see the issue here. You'll need to obtain some Light of Ender to activate it. Find that, and we can get that Ravager's sword found.
It sounds so simple when you put it like that. From day 67 to day 70, my hunt was interrupted when a mason ran over to me, looking like he was in desperate need of assistance.
Shadow Dog, we require assistance. A monstrous beast is attacking our forces not far from here. We need all the assistance we can get.
That sounds terrifying. I'll do everything I can to help. I ran in and saw, to my shock, the so-called monster was actually a surprisingly tiny Lily-Tad. Wow, is that it? She's teeny tiny.
You wish you hadn't said that.
That's when I learned why the Masons had feared the Lily-Tad so much. She wiped the floor with me using her sheer fighting skill. In the end, the only way to defeat her was being humble. I'm sorry for my disrespectful words, Lily-Tad. You are a superlative fighter. And as a show of my respect, take this diamond sword from my own forge.
This tribute is acceptable. You're not as foolish as you look, dog.
I returned to my base after that, feeling good about making an ally from what could have been an enemy. From day 71 to day 74, I woke up to the most awful sounds outside my base. I looked up and saw that the Naga was attacking, rampaging and destroying everything he touched. Oh no, I need to stop that thing. I got up out of bed and ran into battle with my sword and claws at the ready. There was no point in shape-shifting now. I needed to take him by force.
Hello, little shadow. I'm going to show you the power of a true form.
I'm going to show you how strong I am by overshadowing you, Naga! Once again, my talk was stronger than my skills. Naga handed me my butt in a brutal battle that left me barely alive, and then he left, laughing. Oh, that was so painful and humiliating. At least my friend Sylvester will be here to comfort me. Sylvester? Sylvester? It was then that I realized, with horror, that Sylvester Lestone must have been kidnapped by Naga. I need to get it back. Back at the Light Reindeer Temple in the Black Forest, his evil plans were brewing.
The lure is now in place. He will come to me, and when he does, he will belong to me, mind, body, and soul.
From day 75 to day 78, one of the Masons from the Red Rock Valley Temple arrived at my base.
Zozo the Shadow Dog, I have come to meet with you.
Oh, what's on your mind, Mason?
I realized we did not start off on the best of terms, Zozo, but you have since done much for the Mason cause, even at risk to yourself. Please, take this Mason firework crossbow. You've earned it. You're one of us.
He gave me a firework crossbow, and I added it to my inventory. Thank you, Mason. I'll wield it with honor.
I know you will. Use it to save your friend. Use stealth and secrecy. The Naga lurks in the Black Forest near the Light Reindeer's temple.
Those monsters' days are numbered. From day 79 to day 84, I'd had all I could stand, and I couldn't stand it no more. I gathered up my food and snuck into the Black Forest, using my powerful canine sense of smell to track down that devilish Naga and the familiar smell of my friend, Sylvester Lestone. There's that scaly beast. Time to make like a shadow and sneak up behind him. I saw the Naga waiting for me at the camp, but he didn't expect me to attack from behind. I snuck through the trees using my shadow stealth and aimed my firework crossbow at him. Smile, you son of a boom! I fired the firework crossbow and it exploded against the Naga. Then I pulled out my netherite slash sword and stormed in full of wild fury. Give me back my friend, Naga! During the battle, I was horrified to find that Naga was still so much stronger than me. I thought I was almost destroyed when suddenly an ally ran in to save me. It was Lillytad, wielding my diamond sword. Lillytad attacked the Naga at full force, distracting it. I was so inspired by the act of courage that I felt my power level rising until I upgraded into an Ultra Shadow Dog with a new power, Whirlwind. Move out of the way, Lillytad. Lillytad distracted the Naga, and I unleashed a whirlwind attack, finally destroying the Naga once and for all. That's what happens when you mess with my friends. Speaking of, in that moment, Sylvester Lestone ran out from underneath the fortress. Looks like he managed to escape the Light Reindeer.
You saved me, Zozo. I may be made of stone, but you're clearly made of pure courage.
Thanks, Sylvester. I'm just happy to have you back. I've missed you while you were in that evil monster's clutches.
Feels good to be back, man. A rolling guy made of stone gathers no moss. Wait, hey, what's that on the ground over there?
The Naga had dropped some Eyes of Ender on the ground when he was defeated. This is perfect. I can use them to activate the portal. The Ravager sword is practically mine. From day 85 to day 89, I brought the Eyes of Ender back to my base, knowing that I was now on the verge of completing the portal to the end. The eyes have it. Wow, there's a saying for every situation. I guess that's why people say them. I added the essential pearls to the portal, turning what was basically just a modern art sculpture into a fully functional portal to the end. The Ravager sword awaits in the Shattered Desert on the other side of this portal. Wowzers, I'm good at this adventuring thing. I walked through the portal and found myself in the Shattered Desert. It was shattered and deserted, but like it was put there just for me, the Ravager sword was on a pedestal. I will draw the blade and prove myself worthy of the task ahead. As I moved in to claim my prize, I was interrupted by a Garch that attacked me. I fought back with my claws, and it seemed like we were evenly matched in skill. I had other tricks up my sleeve. I used my shape-shifting to turn into another Garch, causing the mob to hold back for a brief moment. That's when I charged and put all my strength behind a claw attack, taking the Garch down before it could resume fighting. At last, the Ravager sword is mine. Now, I fight the light tonight. Or no, maybe a few days from now, at least. From day 90 to day 94, my fight against the Light Reindeer came sooner than I expected, and I was confronted with my mystical enemy on my way back to the end portal.
You have claimed the Ravager sword, and in doing so, have raised the edge of your spirit against me. I hope you realize that this means war.
No, it means peace, because that's what there will be after I take you out with this legendary weapon.
You can try.
Light Reindeer blasted me with a laser. It was almost a direct hit, but with the sword in my hand, I could avoid the worst of the damage. I raced towards the Light Reindeer to strike him down, but with another laser blast, he split the ground of the end and I fell into a pit. As I tried to climb out, the Light Reindeer sent further laser blasts, which I needed to dodge around. I was soon back on the surface, ready to end this fight, but instead of facing me, the reindeer stood by the portal. Come on, get back over here. I have a Ravager sword, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Then I will remind you what fear is. An eternity stranded in the end should do it.
The Light Reindeer stepped backwards through the portal and sent a laser blast down on top of it. The portal was destroyed instantly, and so was my way home. Oh no, how could I ever return? From day 95 to day 97, I was still trapped in the end when the Light Reindeer attacked the Mason's base. Without me and the Ravager blade, Light Reindeer brought a storm of lightning strikes and laser blasts through the fortress. One by one, the Masons were annihilated until only the Jackal remained standing.
Light Reindeer, what have you done?
I have no words for you, Jackal. You served the Masons as a guide when you should have known that I was destined to rule the overworld.
Zozo will stop you. I know he will. He is the shadow, and where there is light, there will always be a shadow. The real reason you fear him is because you cannot destroy him. You just wanted him to think you could, to control him. He is your greatest weakness, and when he figures that out, you're done.
It's too late, Jackal. Zozo is trapped in the end right now. He'll never threaten me again.
We'll see what happens after I grant him guidance. Farewell, old enemy.
With that, the Jackal vanished. He gave up his physical form to become a spirit guide. It was only thanks to him that I was able to find my way through another end portal into the overworld. Thanks, Jackal. You were a true mentor until the end, and even after. Now that I'm back in the overworld, I'll use the Ravager sword to defeat Light Reindeer. On day 98, I returned to my base and found that it had been completely smashed by laser blasts. It was a stone crater, just like the Twilight Valley. Where there is stone, there is hope of finding my friend, Sylvester Stone. I searched for an entrance to a cave until I found the memorable Stoneling. No matter what had happened, he was always safe. The Masons made him, and he was their last creation. I would stop at nothing to protect him. Hey, Sylvester, I'm gonna stop at nothing to protect you.
Hey, that's great! Thanks, Zozo. I'm guessing by that, you mean we're gonna start working together and send the light packing?
Not in a direct battle. He'll see that coming. I've gotta do this the Shadow Dog way. Sneaky and stealthy. We'll end him before he even knows what hit him.
Sounds like a plan, Zozo. You really went the distance on that one. You're the champion.
Together, Sylvester and I started to come up with a plan. On day 99, Sylvester Stone and I had finished plotting our master scheme to get rid of Light Reindeer with the Ravager sword. We knew he would never let us get close enough to him to use the sword, so we gathered all the stone we could and created a decoy base in the Black Forest. We used some spare firework crossbows we got from the Masons to shoot flares into the air and lure the Light Reindeer out of hiding.
Surviving Masons? But how?
It worked. As our enemy went over to investigate the decoy base, I handed off the Ravager sword to Sylvester. With his mastery of stone tunnels, he was able to dig under the temple while I distracted the Light Reindeer in the form of a Mason.
I'll avenge our organization. Light Reindeer, the Masons live on!
Not anymore!
Light Reindeer fired lasers at the decoy base until it was destroyed. I hid myself away, pretending that I was destroyed too. Light Reindeer waited for a bit, then he returned to his temple. By now, Sylvester had tunneled into the temple and left the Ravager sword in a hidden place for me to find. Tomorrow, I would go into the temple and use the magic of the blade to slice through the light reindeer once and for all. On day 100, the light reindeer was peacefully existing in his temple, thinking that I was still in the end and that all his enemies were destroyed. He didn't even know what was coming when I snuck into the temple and found my Ravager sword. I snuck from hiding place to hiding place until I came upon the reindeer in a moment of vulnerability. With one decisive blow, I struck from the shadows.
Impossible!
The light reindeer was felled by my sword, and now Sylvester and I could live happily ever after.
On day 1, I spawned in as Black Panther. I only have 4 hearts. That doesn't seem like a lot for a superhero, but I can move quickly thanks to my cat-like reflexes. And it looks like I have vibranium claws too. Neat! Hey look, there's a waterfall right behind me. And there's some kind of skeleton with a giant battle axe? What is he doing here? Uh-oh, are we about to fight? Bring it on! The skeleton ran at me and swung his weapon, but with my cat-like reflexes, I dodged him easily. I ran up behind him and hit him with my claws. These claws were really powerful. Whoa, he fell right over the waterfall. I won! Too bad I can't get any loot from that skeleton because he fell down so far. I really wanted that cool battle axe. I decided to go to the bottom of the waterfall and look to see if I could find it. When I got there, I saw that the skeleton was still standing. He ran at me again, but this time I faced him head on. He was no match. And look at that, he dropped the battle axe. It's not vibranium, but it's still pretty cool. I wonder where that skeleton got it. I decided to take shelter in a cave under the waterfall and relax for the rest of the day. On day 2, I was woken up by the sounds of an angry gorilla. It had come out from the back of the cave and was trying to attack me. I looked at it a little closer and realized that it wasn't an ordinary gorilla. It was a zombie ape. Ah, get away from me, zombie! Don't make me use my new weapon. I ran away from the zombie ape and out into the sunlight where it didn't want to follow me. I guess that it was one of those mobs that take damage in the daytime. It was an undead just like the skeleton I fought yesterday. Maybe they were common in this area. I decided to leave the waterfall behind and follow the river towards the grasslands. Whoa, there are so many animals here. I could see a rhino and a giraffe, and it looked like they weren't zombies. Thank goodness. I guess I'll let them eat grass in peace, especially because I was starting to get hungry too. I saw some berry bushes, so I started punching them to gather food. Once I got enough, I refilled my canteen in the river. Surviving would be a lot easier now, and if I got into a fight, I already had some pretty good weapons. Still, I thought it might be good to build a shelter in case the zombies came out at night. I used the battle axe I got from the skeleton to chop down trees. I soon had enough wood to make a small hut and bed. It was almost nighttime, so I went inside and went to sleep. When I woke up on day 3, I noticed that there was a tree outside that wasn't there yesterday. It was really big and looked ancient and magical. There was a glowing panther spirit sitting in the branches. I made my way over to the magic tree, and the panther spirit started talking to me.
Zozo, this land needs your protection.
Oh, it looked like I was going to get a superhero quest. I stood there and I listened closely.
We are under attack by an undead warlord to the west of the grasslands. He is turning everything into zombies and skeletons. You must stop him.
An undead warlord? That sounded scary, and he was probably really strong. I'd need a lot more than 4 hearts to take him on, but I couldn't just ignore a quest from the panther spirit. The people and animals needed my help too, and maybe there was a way to turn the animals that had already become zombies back to normal.
Journey westward, and you will find his evil lair.
I spent the rest of the day gathering supplies for my journey and practicing with my weapons on any mobs I could find. On days 4 to 5, I traveled from my hut in the grasslands all the way to the heart of the desert. According to the panther spirit, I was heading in the right direction to reach the overlord's lair. Before long, I saw a zombie boar wandering around in the sand. Oh no, looks like the overlord has already turned the animals in the desert into zombies. The zombie boar charged me, and I lost a bit of health. I had to protect myself, so I drew my battle axe and took a couple swings. I'm sorry, Mr. Boar. The fight was over in no time. I spotted an oasis nearby. I had been traveling for a long time, and night would be here soon. I didn't want to be caught outside if more zombies showed up, so I gathered some wood from the palm trees and set up camp. I had just finished my little oasis hut when a genie appeared out of thin air. I thought I was going to get 3 wishes at first, but then he spoke, and I knew he wasn't the nice kind of genie.
Who dares come to my oasis without an invitation?
I said I was sorry and that I just needed somewhere to spend the night, but the genie created a sandstorm, and suddenly the oasis was gone. He may not have granted me any wishes, but he had left an item behind in the sand. I went to pick it up, and it turned out to be a brand new pair of Roadrunner boots. Awesome, now my movement over the sand will be twice as fast. On days 6 to 8, I was still in the desert when I saw a gigantic archway made of bones. There was a skeleton warrior underneath it, and he was carrying an obsidian shield and spear. It didn't look like he was going to let me pass without a fight. I put my battle axe away and got my vibranium claws ready.
You cannot go any further. I am the Skull Guardian, and you can't beat me.
He seemed serious, but I had to try. If I couldn't win here, there was no way I could beat the Overlord. I attacked him, but even my vibranium claws couldn't get through his shield. It was too tough, even for obsidian, and his spear kept damaging me. I was almost out of health. The only thing I could do to survive was run away. Good thing I had those Roadrunner boots. I turned around and got out of there. The Skull Guardian stayed at the archway and shouted after me.
You are too weak. Come Come back when you are stronger.
Maybe I still needed some more training. While I was running away though, I was spotted by a group of hoglins. I could have easily run away from them, but I was tired of running. I stopped and decided to face them. I took out my claws and defeated each and every one of them. When I defeated the last hoglin, I suddenly felt something inside of me. I grew into an even bigger Black Panther, with more hearts. I also saw that the hoglins had dropped a ton of leather. I could use this when I got back to my base. On days 9 to 10, I went back to the grasslands to expand my hut into a base. I used some sandstone from the desert to make it into a small tower and crafted myself a full set of leather armor too. I then crafted a shovel. I felt a pull to this area for some reason, like it was calling to me, so I dug down until I hit some stone. There, I had an entrance to a mine beneath the tower now. I'd have to check it out further later. I built more furniture inside the base, using wood I was able to gather from a bunch of trees in the grasslands. The one tree that I didn't use for wood was the ancient spirit tree. The panther spirit wasn't there, but I was hoping that maybe it would show up to help me again. I definitely needed some advice on how to defeat the Skull Guardian. If I couldn't beat him, I would never be able to defeat the Overlord and save this land from zombification. On days 11 to 12, I was walking along the river when I saw the zombie ape from the cave splashing around in the water. Had it followed me all the way to the grasslands? It really might have, because it noticed me and ran up to attack. I was a lot stronger now though. This ape didn't know what he was getting himself into. Sure enough, I was able to win against the zombie ape that I ran away from on day 2. I looked at the river to see a water elemental emerging from below the surface.
Thank you. That zombie had taken over my home behind the waterfall, and last night it chased me all the way here to the grasslands.
Who are you?
I am the spirit of the river, and I can see that you are a great hero. This land needs a protector, and I'm glad you were here to save me.
I'm not that great of a hero yet. I need to beat the Skull Guardian or I'll never save the animals.
Have faith in yourself. I am friends with the Panther Spirit, and he believes you can do this.
But last time I fought against him, I didn't even damage him, and he almost took all of my health.
The only reason you lost to the Skull Guardian was because he had an enchantment cast on him that shields him from the attacks of the living.
The spirit of the river handed me a potion.
Drink this potion, and your claws will be able to strike true. That should make it a fair fight.
I said thank you to the spirit. If so many beings were counting on me, I couldn't give up. On days 13 to 15, I decided to check out my mine again, but first, I needed to grab my pickaxe. I still felt something drawing me to dig deeper, so I started digging down. Whoa, what's that? It was a strange material. Vibranium! Turns out, there was a lot of it just below the surface. This land must be rich in it or something. Either that, or I just discovered the only vibranium mine around. I gathered a bunch of it and went to my base to see what I could craft. It turned out, I could make a full set of vibranium armor and tools. Super! I have some serious armor now. My base is also looking way cooler. It's tricked out with vibranium walls and minecart rails. I kept the ancient tree protected in its own little courtyard and made sure to give it plenty of water. I also remembered to plant trees around the grasslands so that I get more wood in the future. On day 16 to 19, I was making my way back through the desert when I ran into a group of husks, and it looked like they wanted to meet the Black Panther up close and personal. The husks attacked me, but I fought back, clawing away at them. Take that, you dried out no good zombie, and here's one for you, you wannabe mummy. Before I knew it, I had beaten the whole group, but then I heard something and turned around. There was one more husk, and this one was way bigger than the others. That's a huge husk. I wasn't scared though, and I rushed right in to face him. The huge husk hit a lot harder than his little brothers, but his skin was just as soft as theirs, and before long, he was down for the count too. You know, I was glad those husks attacked me though. It was good practice for my claws, since I knew I'd be facing the Skull Guardian soon. On days 20 to 22, I reached the archway where the Skull Guardian was waiting and challenged him to a fight.
So, you think you can beat me this time?
Sure I can. Watch this! I drank the potion that the water elemental gave me, and now my attacks could actually damage him. I still had to keep my guard up and dodge a spear attack, but even his shield couldn't stop my vibranium claws this time. After several hits, he finally went down and dropped a skeleton key. A skeleton key? Was this thing made from the skull of the guy I just defeated? Gross. This would probably come in handy later though, so I made sure to take it with me. My journey continued on, and soon I made it out of the desert to a wasteland. I'd have time to explore it soon, but for now, I decided to get back to my base, but not in the way you might be thinking. On days 23 to 26, I decided I didn't want to have to cross through the desert again in case I ever wanted to come back here, so I decided to build a massive tunnel back to my base. I dug down a little ways and then started tunneling in the direction of my base, placing torches as I went. It took a long time, but eventually I got to where I thought my base should be and tunneled up out of the ground. I popped up right in front of my base. How's that for good luck? When I got to the door of my base though, I saw there was a package waiting for me with a note attached to it. This must be from the water elemental. I could tell because it was all wet. The note read,
Dear Zozo, you're doing great. I knew you could defeat the Skull Guardian. Included are some potions that should make your journey easier. P.S. If you're liking the video, make sure you search for other Zozo videos at ZOZO to see more adventures he's been on.
Yep, definitely weird, but when I opened the package, I saw it was full of experience potions. Nice! I drank the potions and felt myself starting to change. I grew bigger and had more hearts, too. On days 27 to 31, I upgraded my base to look a little nicer, since Black Panther is a king after all. I started a statue outside too, something that I knew would inspire me every time I came back to my base. I know it's only the very start, but can you tell what it is yet? Next, I laid down some track in the tunnel so I could quickly get back to the wasteland using a minecart. When my minecart ride was over, I exited the tunnel and took a look around the wasteland to see if I could find any sign of the Overlord's lair. That's when I noticed a small village hidden among the rocky hills of the wasteland. The villagers there said they'd been attacked by zombies, and some of them had even gotten turned into zombies.
Our iron golem was supposed to protect the village, but it's been broken for a long time.
Don't worry, I have an idea for how to fix it.
You're the best.
On days 32 to 35, I gathered more vibranium from the mines at my base so I could use it to upgrade the village's iron golem. It would be 4 times as strong as an iron golem would be, so the villagers would have nothing to worry about from invading monsters. I was really starting to get creative at using vibranium in my creations, and I soon realized that the material had another special ability I could use to improve my base's defenses. Vibranium could generate force fields, and with a little bit of tinkering, I was able to make a force field dome around the whole base. Let's see those zombie animals try to get inside now. On days 36 to 39, I returned to the wasteland village and used the vibranium to upgrade their iron golem. Now they had their very own vibranium golem.
Hooray! You saved our village!
It sure does feel good to be the good guy. Now I could ask them to help me in my quest. I'm looking for the evil overlord who has been making zombies. Do you know where I can find him?
No one here knows. You should go speak to the shaman of the mountains.
Thanks. On days 40 to 43, I trekked up the snowy mountains and found the lair of the shaman. It was guarded by a friendly snow golem. They didn't bother me, probably because they knew what a hero I was. Inside of a long wooden house was the shaman. They had so many magical potions on their shelves, including ones I had never seen.
So, you must be the one I've been hearing about. I've got an idea for something that might be able to help you in your quest.
I'm all ears.
I'm working on a potion that can turn zombies back into normal animals and people, but I need magic flowers from the jungle in order to complete the recipe.
You can count on me, shaman. On days 44 to 49, I headed deep into the jungle in search of the flowers the shaman needed. Eventually, I saw it, the hill shaped like a skull where the flowers were supposed to be. I fought my way up the hill. Eventually, I got to the top. Phew, that was a tough climb even without a bunch of mutants. No wonder the shaman needed someone to get these for him. And then I saw them. At the very top of the hill, inside the skull, were the flowers. I ran up to the flowers and tried to pick them up, but they were stuck. I couldn't pick them. That's when I realized they weren't stuck to the ground. They were actually part of a giant plant monster. The giant plant monster rose out of the ground, the flower still on top of his head. I don't suppose you'd let me have some of your flowers. But the plant monster didn't want to talk. It wanted to fight. It was a tough enemy. I had to avoid its poisonous plant breath attack and be careful not to get punched by it. It hit super hard, but eventually I took it down and it left one of its flowers as loot. Awesome. Now I can leave this crazy place. On days 50 to 53, I returned to the shaman. I invited them to come stay at my base while they finished the potion. When we got there, I built an area for the shaman to stay and work, complete with a nice big cauldron for magical potions.
Just a bit more fine-tuning, and my anti-zombie potion will be complete. Thanks again for getting those flowers.
You're welcome. You could have mentioned the giant poisonous plant monster, but really, I'm just glad to have helped.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Here, take this as an apology.
The shaman tossed something at me. When I picked it up, I realized it gave me a new recipe. It was an upgrade ability for my suit that allowed me to build in some of the vibranium force field tech. Now when the enemies tried to hit me, I could blast them away. Now that's what I call a powerful ability. On days 54 to 57, the shaman and I went into the grasslands and tested the potion on some of the zombie animals. Wow, it actually works! We started turning animals back, one by one, until we got almost all the animals in the grasslands.
We've got plenty of more where that came from back at the base.
I didn't know what I'd do without the shaman.
Watch out!
Suddenly, the shaman pushed me aside. I was about to ask why when a giant beam of pure evil power shot down from above, and in seconds, the shaman was gone. Oh no, that must have been the Overlord. He must have been aiming for me. I started to run, zigging and zagging as beams shot down from above. I kept running until I saw a cave and jumped in, just before a beam could hit me. On days 58 to 62, I waited in the cave until I didn't hear any more powerful beams outside. But what I did hear was something deeper in the cave. I turned around to see a spider leaping at me. Time to try out my new force field ability. I blasted him. Looks like it works just fine. I practiced with my new force field ability some more, and when I was sure I had the hang of it, I finally defeated the spider. With the spider defeated, I remembered the shaman and how quickly the Overlord's attack had appeared. How was I ever going to defeat him? It didn't matter. I had to figure out a way, since that's what superheroes do. I knew there was still a lot of anti-zombie potion left, so at least the shaman's sacrifice was not in vain. Soon, this land would be safe from zombies. I would make sure of it. On days 63 to 66, I snuck out of the cave and went back to my base, where I gathered up all the anti-zombie potions the shaman had made. Before I left, I wanted to do some work on my statue. I needed something to cheer me up after all that had happened, and I knew a great statue like this would encourage me every time I saw it. So what about now? Can you tell what I'm making yet? I took anti-zombie potions back to the wasteland, and every time I encountered a group of zombies, I used the potions on them to turn them back into villagers. Then I sent them to go live at the village, protected by the vibranium golem. The villagers were happy to see so many people get changed back and sent me a letter to say thank you.
Keep it up. We've got more villagers now than ever before. Our little village keeps growing, just like your number of subscribers. And we hope everyone watching joins your village of subscribers too.
Oh, thanks guys. On days 67 to 70, while exploring exploring the wasteland and saving more villagers from their zombified fate, I finally saw something far off in the distance. It was the evil lair that the Panther Spirit and the River Spirit had told me about. I was sure that the Overlord was in there. I could feel it, but it wasn't going to be easy getting to it since I could see that between me and the base was an enormous chasm. It looks like it went all the way around the base with no clear way to get across. I didn't have much time to think about it though, because suddenly I was attacked by a group of zombie apes. You guys again? Haven't you had enough of being zombies? I went to throw an anti-zombie potion at them when I realized I was all out. Oh no! I didn't want to fight them, but I was surrounded. It didn't look like I'd have much of a choice. With no way to turn them back to normal apes, I had to deal with them the old-fashioned way, with my claws. There were a lot of undead apes, but I was able to put all my skills and abilities to use, dodging their attacks and rushing in to land my own. Finally, the last of them had been taken care of. Phew, sorry about that, guys. I promise to make sure I have a full stack of anti-zombie potions next time. I could still see the Overlord's base far off in the distance. It was far enough away that it would probably take me a while to reach it, and then I'd have to deal with that huge chasm. I had a plan for that though, but first, I'd need to return to my base. On day 71 to 74, I built my coolest vibranium invention yet, an aircraft with vibranium-powered levitation devices built into the wings. The only thing scarier than a Black Panther is a flying Black Panther. With my new aircraft, I'd be able to fly right over that giant chasm and drop in right on top of the Overlord. Before taking it out to the wasteland though, I decided I should practice around my own base. Alright, here we go. The first test flight of the Wakanda 1 aircraft. It worked! The aircraft lifted into the sky. The Overlord would never know what hit him. I practiced flying around, doing circles around my base, gradually getting further and further away as I got more comfortable. Whoa! I was still getting used to the controls though, and almost crashed into a river. Luckily, I was able to pull up at the last moment, and before long, I had the controls down and the aircraft was soaring like a bird. On days 75 to 78, I flew the vibranium aircraft to the Overlord's lair, passing right over the giant chasm. Wow, from up here, it looks like it doesn't even have a bottom. Good thing I didn't try to cross it on foot. Before I left my base, I had made sure to fill the cargo hold with plenty of anti-zombie potions. Time to save this land from tyranny. From high in the air, I could see a group of zombie apes in the lair's courtyard. I decided to drop a bunch of potions down at them from the airship, turning them back into normal gorillas. I kept raining down potions wherever I saw undead, and soon everything was back to normal. There was only one thing left to do. I landed the aircraft on the roof, which I thought should give me direct access to the Overlord's throne room. I stepped inside the throne room and saw that I was right. There was the Overlord waiting for me.
You dare interfere with my plans? I will make you a zombie next, and then everyone and everything you know will become my zombies.
He swung his weapon at me, but my suit's armor was strong enough to keep the damage low. I blasted him back with my force field, and then used my vibranium claws to land a couple good hits.
You cannot defeat me. I am the Overlord.
Watch me. Swung my hardest and knocked him down with my claws. Strangely though, he just started laughing. He started to glow and rise into the air.
You fool. All you've accomplished is releasing me from my zombie body, and soon I will be the mightiest being in the world.
Uh-oh, I may have really messed up here. The Overlord, now a super powerful evil spirit, vanished. It looks like I had just released an even greater bad guy. On days 79 to 84, I used my aircraft to return to the River Spirit. I wanted to see if I could get any answers on how to defeat the Overlord's new spirit form.
Well, the good news is he can't go back into his body now that he's a spirit.
What's the bad news?
The bad news is only full spirits can fight other spirits, and I'm not strong enough alone. Perhaps I could. No, it's impossible.
What? What's your idea?
Well, there is one thing that might work. I'm able to impart some of my river powers on others, but it's far too dangerous. You're not nearly strong enough to survive it.
But if I was able to handle you giving me some of your river powers, could that turn the tide?
Maybe, but you'll need to become much stronger both in body and mind if you want to withstand my powers.
I had to stop the Overlord, and this seemed like the only way, so there was only one thing for me to do: get stronger. It was time to start training. On days 85 to 89, I returned to my base and built some new areas where I could start training my body and mind. For physical strength, I built a dojo near the Panther Spirit's tree, complete with dummies that I could practice my attacks on. I had an even better idea for how to make my mind stronger, but to make it a reality first, I had to finish my statue. I completed my statue and stood back to look at it. I thought it looked great and felt mentally stronger just from gazing at the powerful panther emerging from the mountain. But it still needed one more thing. I decided to build a meditation spot right under its mouth, somewhere that I could focus and strengthen my mind. After training both in body and mind, I returned to the River Spirit, but he quickly sent me away, telling me I wasn't nearly strong enough yet. I returned to my base again to train, and this time the Panther Spirit himself appeared in my dojo. He told me that he trained with me so I could get better at fighting even quicker. I had an idea for how to improve my meditation training too. I went back to the statue and made it so that the water would pour out of its mouth, creating a waterfall. I then built an area right where the water hit the ground where I could sit in the rushing water and meditate, learning how to focus even with powerful forces raging all around me. As I sat in the rushing water, thinking about my fighting training, I suddenly felt myself start to change. I grew in size and gained more hearts. Surely now I must be strong enough to handle the River Spirit's power. I returned to the river and met with the spirit again. This time, there was no doubt.
You're ready now. I will give you my powers.
The river spirit combined with mine, and I felt his power within me. I felt stronger, like my attacks would do more damage since they were infused with water power. And I now had the ability to create water anywhere too. Look out, evil spirit. A hero is on his way to take you down. On days 90 to 94, I returned to my base to get my aircraft when a wasteland villager suddenly appeared. He told me that the evil spirit had sent an army of zombie piglins to invade their village and they needed help. I hopped into my aircraft and flew to the village as fast as I could. When I got there, I saw that the villager was right. There were zombie piglins everywhere. The village was on fire and villagers were trying to escape. The vibranium golem was fighting off as many piglins as he could, but there were simply too many for him to handle alone. I fought what seemed like 100 little oinkers, using my new water ability to blast them. Eventually, we beat the last one, but the village had been almost completely destroyed. Villagers who had escaped were badly shaken and afraid. My base was big enough now that I was able to invite all the surviving villagers to stay there permanently. All of the villagers agreed to come, even the vibranium golem. On days 95 to 97, I took the villagers down to my train tunnel and built even more minecarts for them to start going to my base. I flew my aircraft back to the base so I could get it ready for them. I built enough houses for everyone in the same style as their village, and even built farms that looked exactly like their old home. The vibranium golem seemed happy too. He agreed to keep patrolling the new area and defend the villagers if any threats appeared. Just as I was finishing up the last house, I heard the voice of the panther spirit calling to me. I went back to his ancient tree once again.
The evil spirit is waiting for you at the end of the river. It knows you teamed up with the river and thinks if it can destroy the river, it can destroy you too.
Don't worry, I've got this. Together, the river and I are invincible.
Go to the river delta, where the river meets the sea, and there you shall find the evil spirit.
But before I left, he told me that there was one more thing he could do to help me. The panther spirit leapt towards me and absorbed into my body. I felt myself start to change, and I suddenly grew into a huge, superpowered Black Panther. I had a ton of hearts and felt more powerful than ever. Now, filled with the power of both the river and the panther, I embarked on what I hoped would be the quest that saved this land for good. On day 98, I was making my way downriver towards the ocean when I saw the shaman appear in front of me in ghostly form.
Hello there.
Shaman, you're a spirit now too.
Yes, before that ray of evil could kill me, I used my magic to become a spirit. I've been watching your progress and you've been doing an amazing job. I think you could use some help though.
I'll take any help I can get. What I could really use now is some moral support.
I can definitely give you that, but it would be even more powerful if everyone watching the video did too, by giving a like and subscribing. The more likes and sub you have, the stronger you'll be when you face the evil spirit.
Wow, thanks shaman. I hope everyone likes and subscribes so that I'll be really powerful. And if you like the video, make sure to type Zozo, Z-O-Z-O, in the search bar to see my other adventures. There's a whole bunch of them.
I will do that.
Well, I didn't think you had YouTube, but okay, cool. On day 99, I made it to the river delta. A vast ocean stretched out into the horizon before me. Come out, evil spirit, it's me, and I've got the river spirit to help me. I used my spirit powers to walk on the water, and soon I was standing in the middle of this great sea. A dark shadow rose up from below, breaking through the surface of the water. It was the evil spirit.
You're too late. I will soon eat the river and become even stronger. Then I turn anything that drinks from the river into one of my undead servants.
We will never let this happen. I used my water powers to hit the evil spirit. Then I ran in and started clawing him.
Oh, that does it.
The evil spirit called down his beam of destruction, the same one he used on the shaman, but I was ready this time. There was no way he could win. Not after everything I went through. Not after I came this far. As we battled, I suddenly saw other beams of energy. I looked to my sides and saw the panther, the river, and the shaman spirit standing next to me, adding their energy into mine. My combined spirit beam grew bigger and stronger, and in moments, the evil spirit's power had run out, and he was blasted by the beam.
Impossible. No!
I rushed in, and with one final blow from my spirit claws, I put an end to his reign of evil for good. On day 100, I returned to the base and built myself a royal chamber suitable for a Wakandan king. The land may have been saved this time, but somebody would need to remain and be its protector. And from now on, that would be me.
On day 1, I spawned into the jungle as Ant-Man, everyone's favorite size-shifting superhero. Whoa, this is awesome! I've always wanted to be able to shrink down really tiny. Hold on a minute, why is my suit not working? Darn it, I must be out of PIM particles. I wasn't sure how I managed to get here or where here even was. Everything around me looked like it was normal, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Why isn't my shrinking tech working? Maybe there's something I can do to fix it. Just then, I heard the crawling of a lot of legs and turned around to see a spider. It was huge, way bigger than any I had ever seen before. Something weird was definitely going on here. Whoa, aren't you a little big? Then there came the horrible noise of something whirring loudly, and it was coming closer and closer. I could see a huge, vicious-looking creature coming straight towards me. It looked like a huge head with much smaller arms.
Well, isn't that the question of the day? Are you sure it's not you who's a little smaller than normal?
Huh, That is a good question. I suppose I don't feel any smaller than I normally do, but then, if I was, how would I know?
Why don't I save you the trouble then? You are indeed much smaller than normal, and it was by my hand that you were shrunk down to a more manageable size.
Hey, that hardly seems fair. You can't just go around shrinking people. Who the heck are you, anyway?
I am MODOK. Cower before me, Zozo, for you're trapped here in my miniverse.
Miniverse? Oh no, like a tiny universe?
Precisely. Here, I'm in charge. Nothing is its normal size, and now you're trapped here. But let's give you a challenge, shall we? If you can make it out of the miniverse within 100 days, I'll let you go free. But if not, then you'll be trapped in my tiny world forever. And you think getting out will be easy? Think again!
Suddenly, MODOK unleashed a blast of energy that burned the huge spider to a crisp. I had to get to cover so I didn't get blasted too, but it was too late for the poor spider. Yeesh, talk about having a big head. On day 2, I tried to find my way out of this crazy jungle I was in. The trees were so dense that I could hardly see a clear path in front of me. On top of that, I realized I only had 5 hearts, so I had to be careful. If I ran into MODOK again, or any other dangers in his miniverse, then I'd be in serious trouble. Just then, I overheard a loud, angry buzzing sound. When I followed it, I stumbled across a group of enormous tarantula hawks. They were way bigger than normal insects, just like the spider had been. Oh man, these are some nasty looking bugs. Maybe I can communicate with them.
Well, look what's buzzing, my bug bros. A lost little superhero with no powers. This is the one Master MODOK trapped here. Come on, let's get him. Destroying him will win us a lot of points with our master.
They attacked me! I quickly noticed I had a bow in my inventory and used it to try and fend them off. But at my size, I wasn't able to do much damage at all. Plus, I was outnumbered. No, I can't die. Not yet. I still have to find my way out of this miniverse. But then, right as I needed help, someone came rushing out of the trees and fended off the tarantula hawks. It looked like it had the body of a bee, but with huge arms and legs like a person. What the heck was going on in this place?
Hey, are you all right? You should really be careful out here.
Thanks for saving me. What's your name?
You can call me Harlow, the honey golem. What's yours?
Well, technically, I'm meant to be Ant-Man, but I don't have any powers, so I guess I'm just Zozo. On day 3, Harlow brought me to his hive, where there were even more honey golems just like him. They were living in a cave and had built themselves an entire community underground. Wow, I've never met any honey golems before.
We were created in one of MODOK's experiments. That big head of his houses a pretty big brain. He's been using this miniverse to perform all kinds of crazy experiments on the innocent insects and creatures here. We started out like normal bumblebees, but now we're monsters.
Hey, I don't think you're monsters. You saved me from those mean tarantula hawks. Harlow explained that MODOK had been causing havoc all over the miniverse with his mad scientist experiments. I told him that I needed to find my way out of there before my 100 days were over.
You need to get out of here, I understand, but you're going to need some help if you have any chance of escaping the miniverse. So how about I tag along to assist you?
Wow, thank you so much, Harlow. But wait, how are you gonna help me get out of here?
Well, let me cut you a deal. You want to be freed from the miniverse, and I want the miniverse to be free from MODOK. So, how about we team up? I'll come with you. It can be dangerous, but I know my way around, so I can navigate and provide protection. And in return, you can build up your strength so we can stop MODOK's schemes. Once that's done, I'm sure we'll find a way to get you out of here. What do you say?
Okay, sure. If we can take down that big-headed bad guy and get me out of here, then that would be amazing.
Then we better get to it. MODOK is ruthless, and he's left plenty of his experiments running wild out there. They'll do anything he wants.
So Harlow and I headed out as a team. On days 4 through 5, we made a start on gathering some resources and building up my strength for the fight ahead. I punched some trees and gathered enough wood to make a crafting bench. Afterwards, I made myself a set of wooden tools. Then, Harlow showed me a cave where I could mine for cobblestone, and then I used that to craft a set of stone tools as quickly as possible. Harlow and I then explored a bit and eventually found a spot where we could build our base on. We were pretty far from the honey golem's underground city, so I built a room for both Harlow and I to stay in using the materials I had been gathering.
It's not exactly the Avengers Tower or the Baxter Building, but it's a start at least. Hopefully, we won't have any trouble from MODOK and his experiments bothering us while we're here. Just as I had finished up, Harlow brought some food that he'd managed to find for us. He wasn't kidding. He really knew his way around the Miniverse. I ate some, and when I did, I quickly gained 10 hearts for a total of 15 hearts.
Look at that! You've got a little bigger too.
At this rate, I'll be tough enough to take on MODOK in no time.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet, but I'm sure you'll get your chance soon.
With our new base already, night was beginning to fall, so Harlow and I settled in for some much-needed sleep. On days 6 through 8, Harlow and I went exploring, searching for some more materials to craft new items and maybe even upgrade our base. Harlow led the way as we headed back towards the jungle area, being careful we didn't run into any more of those awful tarantula hawks, or something even worse. Soon, we found a jungle spider who was being terrorized by creepers. At first, we thought they were just normal creepers, but there was something wrong about them. They had longer, freakier legs. They were mutants, made during one of MODOK's mad experiments. Hey, leave that spider alone! They didn't listen, so I started firing arrows at them using my bow. I scored a few direct hits, and it angered the mutant creepers. Luckily for me though, Harlow had my back, so as they came charging at us, we were ready for a battle. Even with my weapons and Harlow's strength combined, our fight with the mutant creepers was still a tough one. They were much stronger than your average creepers. But with a few well-placed shots, and with Harlow's strength, we were eventually able to overpower them before they managed to explode. We went to check that the spider was okay.
Thank you both for your help. My name is Jupe, the jungle spider.
Whoa, spiders can talk here.
What do you mean?
Harlow, you mean you can't hear Jupe? Oh, of course, my Ant-Man helmet. It must be allowing me to talk with bugs.
I hate to ask, but there's another of MODOK's experiments nearby. I'm far too weak to fight it, but maybe you could beat the beastly thing?
Leave it to me.
Zozo, you guys go on ahead. I'm going to go back to the base to collect some more supplies.
On days 9 to 10, I followed Jupe back to where she had last seen the Mad MODOK's evil experiment. After a fair bit of searching, we found ourselves at what was left of Jupe's spider nest, with a massive mutant earth elemental roaming nearby.
That's the monster. It destroyed my home.
Jupe was understandably upset, but unfortunately had caught the elemental's attention by accident. The creature spotted us almost immediately and instantly started making its way towards us, ready to attack. Oh no, I really wish we hadn't left Harlow back at the base. While Jupe scurried off to hide, I pulled out my sword and took a swing at the earth elemental. I could barely leave as much as a scratch. It was way too powerful, and I was still too weak to fight it. Before I could get overwhelmed, I ran as fast as I could, only stopping when I met up with Jupe. We'll have to come back when I'm stronger. Maybe if I can fix the suit, I can grow to a giant size and stomp him.
I'm sure you will, but in the meantime, what should I do? I have nowhere to go now that this monster has ruined my home.
Well, for the time being, you're welcome to stay at my base with me and Harlow. On days 11 to 12, I made my way back to my base with Jupe beside me. I quickly built her a room where she could spin some new webs to make herself nice and comfy.
Thank you for coming to help me, and for taking me in, Ant-Man. Most people would see a spider my size and be terrified.
That's okay. I'm glad I can understand you through this helmet. How did you get to that size? Did it have anything to do with MODOK?
Oh, MODOK, that horrible madman. He's been toying with everything here in this miniverse. He alters sizes, creates new creatures whenever he feels like it, then abandons them if they won't fight for him. We'll never be at peace until someone puts an end to his schemes.
Sounds like a job for me. After I had talked with Jupe, I went out and mined for some more materials. I hadn't had a chance to gather anything since fighting the elemental. I managed to come across iron and coal, so I made a furnace to smelt the iron and crafted some iron tools and boots. After all that work, nighttime was approaching, so I had to move quickly if I wanted to take advantage of the last moments of daylight. Walking a short way from my base, I found gravel and began to dig for flint, then kept that in my inventory. On days 13 to 15, I was feeling eager to get stronger and to see if I could get my powers back, so I spoke to Harlow for his advice.
Well, I only became this strong because of MODOK's experiments, but you should probably try training. I hear that's what a lot of superheroes do. Practice does make perfect after all.
I guess that's worth a shot. I then went out in search of some of MODOK's lower-level cronies to fight.
After a bit of traveling, I ended up finding myself in a forest. There were strange creatures flying about in the air, and they were a lot smaller than most other mobs I had seen. But what these dark leeches lacked in size, they made up for in numbers. Okay then, let's take you on. I launched into an attack, wielding an iron sword I had crafted. The dark leeches swarmed me, but I knew that the best way to attack them was up close. They were too small for me to pick off from a distance with my bow and arrows. They were fast, but each one could be slashed down with ease. I just had to be careful not to get bitten by any of them. After a lot of swinging my sword about, I managed to defeat the swarm of dark leeches and come away victorious. The dead leeches dropped some healing potions. Whoa, now this should definitely come in handy. I used the healing potions, and to my surprise, it caused me to gain a few more hearts. Well, I guess that just happened. On days 16 to 19, after beating those dark leeches, I decided to go off exploring a bit more to keep building my strength up. During my travels, I stumbled upon a village, but when I went to take a closer look, there was nobody around to be seen. I searched all the buildings. However, none of the villagers were in their homes. I wonder what happened here. Where did everybody go?
You should not have come here.
Ah, you scared me. It was the ghost of an ordinary villager. No wonder I couldn't find anyone here. Something bad must have happened to them.
It is not safe here. You must leave while you still can.
What do you mean? What happened to you?
We were living peacefully here until MODOK came into this miniverse. He took the people of this village to use in his experiments.
He's a monster!
In his madness, he tried to create a creature that was powered by anger that would get stronger the more enraged it became. But the experiment went wrong, and the creature ransacked our town. This is why you must leave. It's still here.
Wait, a creature powered by anger? That sounds a lot like the Hulk. Suddenly, a villager beast came bursting through the roof to ambush me. The ghost vanished in fear while I rushed outside and took out my weapons, ready for a fight. The beast wasn't as strong as I was expecting, but we were still pretty evenly matched. It was looking like I might need to run away again. That is, until the ghost appeared again and helped distract the beast.
Quick, while his back is turned.
Zozo Smash! With a big swing of my sword, I put an end to the villager beast, and the battle was done! Whew, thanks for the help! On days 20 through 22, I was heading back to my base. On the way, I kept my superhero training going by fighting a few zombies that I came across. I took them out with ease, like they were nothing. Harlow was right. Practice does make perfect, and I'm definitely improving. As I got closer to the base, I gathered some extra iron, which I held onto. I'd be able to improve my gear with it once I made it home. I finally arrived and smelted the ore I found into ingots. I then crafted some iron armor and an iron shield to defend myself in future battles, alongside with a new sword since mine was about to break. Well, if a shield works for Captain America, then it'll work for me. Starting to feel a lot more confident with my superhero skills, as well as my newly crafted tools and weapons, I decided to pay a visit to an old enemy. Jupe, I'm gonna go and teach that Earth Elemental a thing or two about what happens when you mess with innocent spiders' nests. I made my way back to the ruins of Jupe's old nest, and that's where I found the Elemental waiting for me. It immediately charged directly at me, swinging his huge rocky fist as he tried to hit me. I blocked with my new shield, but his attack stunned me, making it difficult to keep my health up or move out of the way. Luckily, Harlow had given me plenty of food to bring with me, and my armor protected me from each of the elemental's blows too. He continued to swing at me, but I had already taken down the villager beast. This was just another of MODOK's experiments. Waiting for the perfect opportunity, I landed the perfect hit and managed to defeat the Earth Elemental, causing him to burst into rocky smithereens. Woohoo! Among the stone remains of the Elemental was a note, so I picked it up to take a closer look. It was an order from MODOK.
Don't let that no-good hero find where we've stashed the PIM particles. If he finds out where they are, he'll be able to use them to power his suit. We can't have him shrinking down to sneak out of the miniverse, or growing bigger than a house. He'd wipe us all out in no time. Whatever happens, stall him. Keep him away from the particles.
Of course, MODOK's the reason why I can't get my Ant-Man suit to work. I can keep getting stronger, but without PIM particles, I can't use my powers. So I guess the question is, where do I start looking?
From day 23 to day 26, I returned back to my base to give Jupe the jungle spider the good news. Jupe, I did it! I defeated the elemental that had ruined your home. You can go back anytime you like now, though of course, you're always welcome to stay here too.
That's so wonderful to hear, Zozo. I think I'll stay to help you until MODOK is defeated. Then I'll return to my true home. All thanks to you.
Feeling good after helping Jupe, I made myself a flint and steel. This will be perfect for making campfires. After that, I spent some time building a strong perimeter wall around my base. That'd help keep out the mobs at night. From day 27 to day 31, I decided to venture out into the desert to continue my search for the Pym particles. Without them, I'd never have any hope of defeating MODOK. While out in the desert, I ran into a Pterodon. Hey, sorry to bother you, but would you happen to know where I could find some Pym particles around here?
Pym particles, I can't tell you exactly where to find them, but I have some theories. I'm actually an advanced particle scientist, and I wrote my thesis on Pym particles.
Oh wow, that actually sounds like super valuable knowledge. Want to come stay at my base and work on this together? I'm Zozo, by the way.
I'm Frank, and sure, I'll take you up on that offer.
As Frank headed back, I decided to mine some sand blocks that I could take back to base. When I arrived again, I turned the sand blocks into grass blocks and used them to create windows in my base. That should get a little light on the situation, but I didn't get to enjoy my new windows for long. Harlow the honey golem ran towards me, looking panicked.
Zozo, I need your help. I just got word there's been an attack on my underground community.
What? We better go immediately. From day 32 to day 35, Harlow and I ran straight to the caves that protected the underground community of honey golems. The cave was crawling with giant, vicious centipedes, a type of aggressive mutant centipede created in MODOK's evil laboratory. Don't worry, everyone, we're here to help. Keep away from the centipedes. But we had arrived a little too late. There were so many centipedes, and even though we tried our best to fight them all off, sadly we spotted no honey golems inside. Hopefully some escaped. Harlow and I worked together to defeat the rest of the centipedes, but the damage was already done. I'm so sorry, Harlow. I wish we could have done more.
We must defeat MODOK, Zozo. We can't let him get away with this.
From day 36 to day 39, I needed to get away from my base. After the incident in the caves, I had trouble even looking Harlow in the eye. Instead, I went out to the swamp, seeing if I could find any interesting materials out there. While searching, I met a joust who needed a favor.
Hey, stranger. Jerry's the name. Being a joust is my game. Now, I don't want to impose, but my little swamp shack is surrounded by crocodiles. If you were to help scare those chompy critters away, I'd give you something in return.
There is something I need. Do you happen to know anything about MODOK?
MODOK? Oh, me and that guy go way back. We went to Miniverse College together. He's always been a huge meanie. If you scare off those crocodiles, I'll tell you what I know.
Deal. I went further into the swamp until I found Jerry the Joust's shack, which was surrounded by vicious crocodiles. I pulled out my sword and ran in, swinging and flailing. Get out of here, crockies! Go on, get! Once the crocodiles had been defeated, I returned to Jerry the Joust and asked him what he knew about MODOK.
He acts like he's confident, but believe me, the guy's real insecure. He's only as strong as the monsters working with him. If you're able to become strong enough and get him alone, that's your best chance at defeating him.
From day 40 to day 43, I decided I'd spend some more time sprucing up the base. Seeing as I was spending so much time there, I should at least make it look nice. I spent most of my time working in the yard. I put in some nice trees and flowers that really livened up the whole base. Who'd have thought I'd have such a green thumb? After that, Harlow approached me and told me that there were a lot of honey golems who needed a place to stay after the centipedes destroyed the underground town. Of course, I invited them all to come stay with us and even built some extra rooms onto the base so they'd all have a place to stay. That's when Frank the Pterodon came to me with some exciting news.
Zozo, I've been doing some research, and I got a lead on some potential Pym particles out in the Badlands.
That's awesome! To the Badlands I go! From day 44 to day 49, I went out to the Badlands in search of the Pym particles that could give me my powers back. Instead, I found MODOK and one of the freakiest looking minions in his roster, the floating, bug-eyed Beholder!
Looking for Pym particles, Zozo?
As a matter of fact, I am. So if you'd kindly step out of my way, I'm gonna keep searching.
Oh, I'll save you the job. I have them.
What?
I already took the particles, and I'm going to use them in my experiments. They'll give me the power to create even larger, more dangerous monsters. And monsters so tiny, you won't even see them until they get you. The Miniverse will be my personal playground, and then I'll fan out and take over the entire multiverse.
I'll never let you get away with it.
That isn't up to you, Zozo. Beholder, destroy him. I'm going back to the lab.
MODOK flew away, leaving only me and the Beholder. I pulled out my sword and tried to hide my fear as the terrifying monster flew towards me. Maybe we can just talk it out? From day 50 to day 53, I started fighting the Beholder because, as it turns out, he did not want to just talk it out. He was fast and strong, but thankfully I was able to use all the skills I learned so far to gain an advantage. I lost a few hearts along the way, but the Beholder was eventually defeated. Jeez, I hope I never have to see another one of those again. While I was still resting after the fight, I noticed that the fallen Beholder had dropped something. A notebook marked Book of Research, written by MODOK. That's perfect. Maybe it can give me some inside information. The inside of the book read,
Without the Pym particles, my research is coming up short. But soon I'll be able to take it all to the next level. When I have the particles, the first thing I'll do is take the smallest threat and make it into the biggest one. Then unleash it on those hapless fools in the mountains.
The mountains? That's where my base is. I need to get back there immediately. From day 54 to day 57, I ran back to the mountain as fast as I could, ready to head off whatever monster that MODOK had unleashed. And the last thing I could have expected was a giant enterophage rampaging through the mountains. Its size must have been massively enhanced by Pym particles. I don't even want to know what kind of ender flu that monster would give you. I tried to attack its legs, but that didn't seem to have any effect. Its head was its only weakness, but I didn't know how to get at it. And what's more, from the direction it was heading, it was going straight towards my base. Think, Zozo, think! Wait, I have an idea! I ran ahead of the giant enterophage's path and started desperately digging a pit into the ground. As the giant enterophage approached, it fell into the pit, putting its head at eye level with me. Time to cure this walking virus. With one strike of my sword, the giant enterophage was defeated, and it dropped some Pym particles into the pit. At long last, they were mine. I collected the particles and went straight back to my base, where I figured Frank the Pterodon would know what to do with them.
You found the Pym particles. This is amazing.
So can I use them to change my size?
No, not yet. Leave them with me, Zozo. I'll refine them and get them ready for use. You'll be ready to take the fight to MODOK in no time.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided that it was time to refine my base and gear a little more and put all my new scientific skills to good use. I started by making Frank a scientific lab so he could help me more efficiently. After that, I did improvements to my room, adding more chests and forges and making it feel more fit for me. It's like having my own little laboratory. Think Pym would be so proud. Then, I made my way to a nearby diamond mine and took all the diamonds I collected back to the crafting room so I could upgrade my gear. I made a full set of diamond armor to help protect the fragile technology of my suit and a diamond sword to help me pack a punch. But even though my equipment had never been cooler, my base was looking a little gloomy. To spruce it up, I added some new couches so me and the boys could relax. This has got to be the coolest base in the Miniverse now! From day 63 to day 66, Harlow the Honey Golem approached me at the base with a cool idea.
Zozo, I think it's important to get as many allies as we can when fighting MODOK. We have no idea how many mutants and monsters he's created out there, so we need to get a team of our own.
That's a really good point, Harlow. Where do you think would be a good place to look for more allies?
Try the forest. I bet MODOK's goons have hassled a lot of creatures up there. They'll probably be eager to sign up.
Harlow was right. I needed to leave the base and venture over to the forest where I could find new potential team members for our anti-MODOK movement. But the forest was way bigger than I thought, so I was searching for a whole day without finding anything. I hope this whole thing wasn't a waste of time. I can't afford to waste any of my 100 days to get out of the Miniverse. My thoughts were interrupted by a huge figure running through the forest towards me, a Polypham. I pulled out my sword in a panic and prepared for a fight, but the Polypham stopped. He wasn't here to fight me.
Please, kind stranger. My name is Peter, and I was playing with my son out in the forest when suddenly a monster attacked and took him. I need help to save my son. Will you help me?
Of course I'll help you, Peter. I'm Zozo. You lead the way. From day 67 to day 70, I followed Peter Polypham deep into the dark forest. It didn't take long for us to find exactly what we were looking for. Peter's son, a baby Polypham, being chased around the forest by a scary, buzzing, warped Mosco. That looks exactly like one of MODOK's experiments.
MODOK?
He's the supervillain that made all the mutant creatures around here. Stand back, Peter. I'll take care of this one. I pulled out my sword and ran in, getting the warped Mosco's attention and distracting him from attacking Peter's son. The nasty mutant attacked me and we started to fight. Didn't anyone ever teach you not to pick on kids, Mosco? Every time he hit me with his powerful Mosco arms, I could feel my health going down, but I needed to keep fighting for Peter and his son's sake. It was a hard battle, but in the end, the warped Mosco was defeated, and father and son were together again.
You did me and my son a great service, Zozo. One day, in your hour of need, I will repay you for this.
No problem, man. It's just what heroes do. From day 71 to day 74, still feeling good about helping Peter and his son, I continued my search through the forest. I really do love going on adventures, and if you love going on adventures, like, subscribe, and search ZOZO for more videos from me. Ooh, is that an abandoned mine? I approached an abandoned mine deep in the forest. I didn't expect to make any friends down there, but I figured I would at least be able to mine for some useful materials. I'm always making the best out of a weird situation. But in that abandoned mine, I didn't find any decent materials. I found MODOK himself, waiting for me.
You've fallen into my trap, you pathetic, teeny tiny Ant-Man. The only thing tinier than you is your brain.
Well, my brain would have to be tinier than me, or it wouldn't fit in my body.
Silence, fool!
MODOK was angry that I made him look dumb, so he fired an energy blast at me. He missed, and I ran back at him with my diamond sword. But when I hit him, nothing happened. What?
Force field technology, son. It protects me in response to trauma. You'd need to be a lot bigger and stronger than that to even put a scratch on me.
And with that, MODOK laughed and teleported away. I still wasn't nearly big or strong enough to defeat him. From day 75 to day 78, I returned to my base, feeling glum after not being able to defeat MODOK yet again. Maybe if I make some defenses, that'll make me feel better. I decided to create a few guardhouses so that I would feel more at ease, and my friends would be able to seek refuge on whatever side of the base they happened to be at. Building is so cool. As if on cue, Frank the Pterodon approached me.
I agree, Zozo, and it's thanks to some good, old-fashioned science that I've finally been able to refine these PIM particles and upgrade your suit so that it can do what it always should have done.
You mean I'll be able to change size now? I won't just be a mini Ant-Man?
Exactly, Zozo. Give it a whirl.
I activated my refined PIM particles and felt myself growing to my proper height, at long last, complete with double the hearts. It feels good to be back, Frank. From day 79 to day 84, seeing as I was back to my full strength, I wanted to go and settle some old scores. First, I went deep into the jungle and encountered some old enemies, some of the tarantula hawks that were bothering me and my friends when I was tiny. Hey look, it's the Pipsqueak. Oh wait, he doesn't seem like such a Pipsqueak anymore. Thank you for noticing. I fought the tarantula hawks who had once been such a challenge with my new strength and my diamond sword. Within a few minutes, they were all defeated. I went on the rest of my journey with my head still high. On my travels, I ran into a mad scientist doing some research deep in the jungle.
Hello there, I'm Mike, the local mad scientist. I'm conducting a wildlife survey. What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm Zozo. Nice to meet you, Mike. I've just been testing out my new PIM particles. They help me change my size at will. I can get bigger or smaller.
That sounds fascinating. Would you mind telling me more about this for my research?
Not at all. I spoke to Mike the mad scientist for a while, explaining to him exactly how the particles worked and how my suit used them. All the while, he looked super interested and made notes. In the end, he was so thankful, he gave me an enchantment he'd crafted that would increase the damage of my sword. My luck looked like it was finally turning around. From day 85 to day 89, my luck turned around again, for the worst. I returned to my base, only to find it being attacked by a gang of water elementals working for MODOK. I just can't catch a break around here.
I pulled out my diamond sword and ran in to fight. I didn't want to use the full power of my Pym particles just yet, because I knew I'd need them to take on MODOK himself, so I fought the water elementals the old-fashioned way. And I'm gonna make you regret trying to destroy my base. I defeated most of them, but a bunch of water elementals started to make a run for it, and I chased after them. I didn't want any of them to get away after this. But while I was running, I saw a distressed-looking Catoblopas standing in the distance, trying to get my attention.
Stranger, please, I need your help. My friend, Little Cato, is stuck in that really tall tree. I'm worried he's gonna fall and hurt himself.
Don't worry, I can help. I used my Pym particles to get a lot bigger. Due to my size, the little Cato was confident enough to jump towards me and landed safely.
Thank you, Zozo.
No problem. And with that, I continued the chase. From day 90 to day 94, I chased the gang of water elementals until they were forced to stop at a ravine. Nowhere to run, guys. Now we have to fight, and I think I'm owed a little payback. Without a second's hesitation, I started fighting the water elementals. One by one, I defeated them until only one remained. He was unusually good at taking my hits, even with a diamond sword. I don't understand. How are you so tough? Before he even replied, he punched me so hard I lost some of my hearts.
Naive little Ant-Man. I'm not just any water elemental. I'm one of MODOK's greatest experiments. The angrier I get, the stronger and faster I become. And believe me, you got me pretty angry, Ant-Boy.
And just like that, I knew I was in for the biggest fight of my life so far. From day 95 to day 97, my battle with the water elementals continued. He was the strongest and fastest enemy I'd ever faced, and as he got angrier, his skills increased.
Face it, Zozo, you're outmatched. I'm going to crush you like an ant.
I clearly couldn't defeat him like this. I needed a new strategy, but how could I defeat someone who got tougher as they got angrier? Wait, I have it! I needed to calm down. That way, he'd be weak enough to lose. I just needed to calm him down. Water Elemental, imagine rainbows and puppies.
I don't know what you're trying to do, Ant-Boy, but it won't work.
Think about calming waterfalls and the smell of fresh-cut grass. Think about relaxing at the end of the day and watching your favorite TV show.
No, how dare you? You can't do this to me. I'm getting calmer.
Think about getting to sleep in late on a Saturday. Think about getting a massage and drinking some herbal tea. Think about meditating in the middle of a meadow filled with dandelions.
Blast it! I've never felt so calm.
I finally used my Pym particles in combat, becoming tiny and attacking the water elemental with great speed, making me even stronger. It only took one hit like that, and the water elemental was pushed into a corner. He dropped something. It looked like a map. Wait, is this a map directly to MODOK's secret laboratory? Why would you even have this on you? You work for the guy.
I have a terrible sense of direction, okay? But it doesn't matter. You may have defeated me, but you'll never defeat MODOK. He's got the biggest brain in the miniverse.
Yeah, and the smallest heart. I'm gonna defeat MODOK if it's the last thing I do. And with that, the water elemental vanished. On day 98, after defeating all the water elementals and finding out the location of MODOK's secret laboratory, I returned to my base to speak with my friends, Harlow the Honey Golem, Jupe the Jungle Spider, and Frank the Pterodon. Friends, it's time. I need to defeat MODOK once and for all. I want to thank you for all the help you've given me, but even if I win, this might be goodbye, because I'll need to leave the miniverse. Harlow spoke up first.
Zozo, you've helped me through some tough times. When my people's homes were destroyed by MODOK, you were there for me. So after you've taken him down, I wish you luck in whatever comes next.
Then, Jupe, the Jungle Spider.
You're one of the most heroic people I've ever met, Zozo. You may be an Ant-Man, but you've got the heart of a jungle spider, and I mean that as the highest compliment I can give.
And of course, Frank the Pterodon.
You're not just a hero, Zozo, but a brilliant scientist. I believe you've gained all the knowledge and skills you need to defeat that big-headed monster. All you need to do now is believe in yourself.
On day 99, with everything prepared, I decided to make my way to MODOK's evil laboratory so I could stop the dastardly villain and escape the miniverse once and for all. Using my refined Pym particles in my fully upgraded suit, I decided to make myself incredibly tiny so none of MODOK's guards would spot me. On the way there, I ran into a cockroach who was about the same size as me in my shrunken form. Hey, Mr. Cockroach, hope you're having a good day. I'm on my way to defeat a supervillain.
The name's Carl, my friend, and I wish you luck in your quest. Defeating a supervillain sounds like a pretty cool thing for you to do.
I continued on my quest until I reached the laboratory, but as could probably be expected, it was surrounded by sentinels, powerful mutant zombies created by MODOK's evil experiments. Maybe they won't see me if I'm tiny, but what if they do? I don't know if I could take them all on at once. Then I heard big, thundering footsteps coming towards me, and I turned to see Peter Polypham.
Maybe I can be of service.
Peter, have you come to help me?
Sure have, Zozo. You helped me save my kid, so now I'm gonna help you stop your supervillain. I'll distract those doofy mutant zombies. You head in there, and you bring the big boss down.
You got it, Peter. Let's end this thing. On day 100, I ran past the gang of mutant zombies while Peter Polypham distracted them and entered MODOK's evil laboratory. The big-headed bad guy himself was waiting for me as soon as I came in. It's over, MODOK. I know your plans, but they won't do you any good now. I have the Pym particles and my suit is fully operational. If I was you, I'd just give up.
But you're not me, Zozo. I'm a genius, a visionary scientist. You're just a goofball who likes to dress up like a bug. If you were truly smart, you'd be able to see the value in what I'm doing here.
All I see is an evil guy who's hurting people to benefit himself. And if you can't see that, then I guess we better just get this over with. I prepared to size shift into an even tinier version of myself when MODOK blasted me with some kind of shockwave that blocked my powers.
Too bad, so sad. Mutated zombies, take care of him.
A bunch of MODOK's mutated zombies came running out to attack me. Of course, a coward like him wouldn't want to fight for himself. I'm ready. I'll take you all on. I pulled out my diamond sword and attacked before they attacked me. Thanks to my upgraded suit and diamond armor, it's not like they could do much damage to me anyway. Soon enough, every single one of them was defeated. It was just me and MODOK.
You still can't defeat me. Do you really think you have any hope at defeating my power and my genius, you puny little Ant-Man?
Puny? Is that what you're calling me? I activated my Pym particles and started to grow. It didn't take long for me to tower over MODOK with my new giant size. How about now, MODOK?
Oh no!
With one more strike from my giant size, MODOK was defeated. Finally, after 100 days of struggle, I could leave the Miniverse. On day 1, I spawned in as Spidey, from Spidey and his amazing friends. I was surrounded by friendly spiders, who were bigger than me. Wow, I'm really small. I must be a baby version of Spidey. But where are my friends? None of the spiders got a chance to tell me, because the Green Goblin jumped out from behind a bush.
There you are! Thought you could hide from me with all these spiders? Well, you were wrong, Spidey. Tag, you're it! Ha ha ha!
He threw a pumpkin bomb, and I jumped out of the way just in time. But the other spiders were caught in the explosion. I was the only one who made it out okay. You're rotten, Green Goblin, rotten to the core. What are you doing here?
You're asking the wrong questions, Spidey. You're asking why I'm here, but you should be asking, why isn't Spin here?
Right, Spin, Miles Morales, my friend. Why isn't he here? What did you do with him?
That's for me to know, and you to find out. If you want to get him back, you'll need to come and find me and beat me in a fight. If you can't find my hideout in 100 days, I'll make sure you never see your little buddy again.
He threw another pumpkin bomb and disappeared, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Oh no, that evil villain kidnapped Spin, and I only have 100 days to get him back. If I'm going to fight the Green Goblin and win, I need to get a whole lot stronger first. On day 2, I decided to get out of the plains and into a new location. With all of the spiders gone, I was completely on my own. And there's nothing for me to climb or swing from out here. I need some tall buildings or some trees. So I headed into the forest. I already had 10 hearts. I sure hope I don't run into any trouble out here. I must have jinxed myself because a group of gremlins came out from behind a bunch of trees and started closing in around me. Hey, why are you bothering me? I didn't do anything to you.
You didn't have to. We're here on orders from the Green Goblin. He wanted us to deliver something to you in person. A beatdown.
Uh-oh, I'm not strong enough to take on all of these enemies at once.
Let's get 'em, boys!
The gremlins were getting closer, and I couldn't see anywhere to run. Was this it? Was I already going to lose on my second day?
Hey, pick on someone your own size!
I looked towards the voice, and I saw Rabbit skiing towards the gremlins. He skied right into them, breaking through the circle, and I was able to run away before they could get to me. When I finally stopped running, I noticed the rabbit was right behind me. Thanks for the help.
No problem. I can't stand bullies. My name is Harry.
Hi, Harry. I'm Spidey, but you can call me Zozo. On day 3, Harry the skiing rabbit took me back to his home with him in the underground rabbit burrow. It was really nice of him, especially since I didn't have a base of my own yet. Now I have a safe place to rest for a little while where the Green Goblin wouldn't bother me. Thanks, Harry. This is so nice.
No problem, Zozo. Hey, there's someone I want you to meet. He knows a lot about the Green Goblin, and I think he can help you out.
He took me to the burrow of a Giza rabbit.
Hello! I understand you're going up against the Green Goblin. A nasty fellow.
Don't I know it?
Well, forgive me for saying so, but you won't get far like that. You need some tools, some weapons, and you need to get a whole lot stronger.
I know, but where should I start?
The forest to the north has lots of wood. Go gather some so you can start making tools. You'll need to be well equipped with the strongest tools you can find, as well as an open heart and an adventurous spirit. It takes a hero to defeat a villain, and if you really try, you can become the hero that takes down the Green Goblin once and for all.
That sounded like a whole lot of work, but as I thought about all the spiders the Green Goblin hurt and thought about Spin being held prisoner somewhere, I knew it was worth it. I guess I'd better get right to it then. First things first, I need to go gather that wood.
You'd better go with him, Harry. We all need a friend in tough times, and Zozo has quite the journey ahead of him.
Okay, let's go, Zozo!
On days 4 and 5, Harry and I went out into the northern forest to start gathering wood. There was no time to waste, so I started punching as many trees as I could. After I gathered enough wood, I built a crafting bench and crafted a set of wooden tools. Hooray! Now I can start gathering stone.
You're doing awesome so far.
Thanks, but I think this is the easy part. It'll only get harder from here.
I'll be here to help every step of the way. Every hero needs a sidekick, right?
That's true, but enough talking for now. I've got to get enough stone to upgrade my tools. I got to work, and once I had enough stone, I upgraded all of my tools from wooden ones to stone ones. Ready to help me build a base? We need a secret hideout if I'm gonna be a real superhero.
Yeah!
We started building the base and made sure to add a room for me and another room for Harry, so we both had somewhere to sleep. While we were building, a tarantula hawk flew up and started attacking me. What's the big idea? I couldn't let it get me, not when I was finally making progress, and I definitely wouldn't let it hurt Harry. The fight wasn't easy, but I won. And afterward, I felt myself getting stronger. Hey, I gained a heart.
You're one step closer to being a superhero.
Yeah! On days 6 through 8, I explored more of the forest. I wanted to see what other resources I could use to build my base, or if there was any useful item someone might have dropped. As I was getting ready to pick some apples from a tree, I heard someone yelling.
Help! Somebody, help!
Sounds like someone needs a hero. I ran toward the sound of the voice, and I saw a raccoon being attacked by a pack of wolves. Don't worry, I'll help you. I'm your friendly neighborhood Zozo. As soon as the wolves saw me coming, they left the raccoon alone and ran at me. They snapped their jaws, trying to bite me and scratch me with their claws. But I dodged their attacks, and I hit them back with my stone sword. Ha! You're no match for me. I'm getting pretty good at this fighting to defend the innocent thing. After a while, I tired them out, and the wolves ran off and left me and the raccoon alone.
Thank you so much. You saved my life.
No problem. I'm Zozo.
My name is May. I'm sorry to bother you, but you're such a strong fighter. Would you help me with something else?
Helping is what I do.
I'm so glad. Then please, come with me to the swamp. There's a nasty bad guy there I need help with.
Lead the way. On days 9 and 10, May led me to the swamp to help deal with her problem. So, what's the deal with this swamp?
I was staying here when this big, mean ogre came in and started stomping around and telling me to get out. He broke my house apart and told me that this was his swamp now and I needed to get out. But all of my things are still here and I don't want to just abandon them.
Oh geez, that does sound like a lot of trouble. I'll do whatever I can to help.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I found you.
What are you doing in my swamp?
The ogre jumped out, roaring and running right at us. He was much bigger than me, but I couldn't back down. I drew my sword and got ready to fight him. This isn't your swamp. You can't just kick people out.
I can do whatever I want. I'm the biggest, baddest ogre in the swamp, which means it all belongs to me.
You can't take things from people just because you're bigger and stronger.
Who's gonna stop me?
Me! I ran at him with my sword, but he grabbed me and lifted me into the air. Then he threw me. I landed hard and got the wind knocked out of me. Uh-oh, he might be too strong. He was getting ready to grab me again, and I swiped at him with my sword. He knocked the sword out of my hand, and it went flying. I had to run and grab it, and I knew if I tried to fight this ogre right now, I would lose. Let's get out of here, May. We'll go back to my base, and when I'm strong enough, I'll come back. I promise.
Okay, thank you for trying.
I didn't want to run away, but I can't save the day if I let myself get beaten by an ogre. So even though it wasn't fun to leave the fight, it was better that May and I were safe. On days 11 and 12, I brought May back to my base. I built her a room of her own with a chest and a crafting bench.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Of course. Stay as long as you like.
We're happy to have you. I was meaning to ask, do you know anything about the Green Goblin?
That monster? I sure do.
He kidnapped a friend of mine, and I'm trying to learn more about him.
I'm pretty sure he lives underground somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I've heard a lot of rumors about his underground cave hideout. If you can find out where he is, and you're strong enough to fight him, you might be able to use the element of surprise to help you defeat him.
Underground, huh? That's really helpful. Thank you, May.
Of course. The Green Goblin is terrible, and I'd be happy to see someone finally take him down.
After I talked with May, I decided to add some food sources to my base. I know, I think I saw some chickens in the woods.
Yes.
So I built a fence to contain the chickens, then I went out looking for them. There you are. Come with me, chickens. I'll show you your new home. I herded the chickens back to the base and got them all set up in the fenced area. Then I cut down some grass and planted some wheat at the base. Now we'll have plenty of food, and I learned more about the Green Goblin. What a successful day! On days 13 to 15, I decided to find some ways to get stronger, so I turned to Harry for advice.
I think the best way to get stronger is to get some more experience. Explore new areas, go on some quests, fight more enemies. You can't learn if you don't put yourself out there, and upgrading your tools probably won't hurt either.
That's a great idea, thank you! If I was going to upgrade my tools, I needed to get mining. I mined some coal and some iron too. I raced back to my base to make a furnace. Then I smelted the iron and used it to craft all iron tools. Great, now time to explore. Where can I go? I should go somewhere really different from anywhere I've been so far. I know, I'll go to the ice spikes. So I gathered all of my new tools and headed off to the ice spikes. Brr, it's getting cold. I'm not used to this weather. Maybe I should have brought some more supplies with me.
Maybe you should have, but you didn't, because you're weak, and you'll never beat the Green Goblin.
Who said that? I looked up and saw a green golem standing on top of a tall ice spike.
I did. The boss sent me to check on your progress, and he's gonna laugh so hard when he hears about all this. But first, I think I'll teach you a lesson about trying to be a hero when you're really just a zero.
Then he jumped down from the ice spike and landed right in front of me. But I was ready for him, and I had my brand new iron sword ready to go. Not so fast. He ran at me, and I swung my sword. He tried to hit me, but I dodged and attacked again. It was a pretty tough fight, but I managed to win in the end. After I defeated him, I noticed he dropped something. Cool, an explosive bottle. I can use this to fight the Green Goblin. I was so excited to show my friends what I found that I ran all the way back to my base. Harry was waiting for me.
You should build an armory to keep your weapons.
Great idea! So I built an armory, and after I did, I felt myself getting stronger. Whoa, I gained 2 hearts. On days 16 to 19, I decided to follow Harry's advice and keep exploring to get more experience. Maybe I'll find something else that will help me beat the Green Goblin, or make a new friend. As I was looking around, I found an abandoned house. Anyone here?
No one answered, so I let myself inside to have a look around. It was totally empty, except for a chest. I opened the chest and found an old book. I guess I'll read it. Superheroes should always take the time to read every now and again. As I read the book, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Whoa, so the Green Goblin is really Norman Osborn, the scientist. That's why he's so good at making those pumpkin bombs. I can't believe it. But it's in a book, so it must be true. Maybe this information will help me later. I grabbed the book to take with me and left the house to head back to my base. As I did, I saw the gremlins from before. Not you guys again.
You better believe it, Spidey.
The gremlins rushed at me, and I fought them off with my sword. When they realized they were outmatched, they started to run away.
This ain't the last you'll see of us, or the Green Goblin.
Tell your boss I'm getting stronger every day, and I'm coming to get my friend. I couldn't believe it. I beat the gremlins on my own this time. I was really starting to feel like a superhero who could defeat the villain and save the day. I wasn't quite ready yet, but I had already come so far. On days 20 to 22, I looked for some more bad guys to fight in the forest around my base. I wanted to get stronger and keep my friends safe at the same time. A mutant spider pig attacked May while she was looking for food, and I rushed in to save the day. Get away from her! I swung my sword and defeated the mutant spider pig easily. I was so much stronger than I was on my first day. I think I'm finally ready to take on the ogre and get your stuff back.
Are you sure? He's so scary.
I am. I just need to make some armor first. I gathered some more iron and crafted myself some shiny new iron armor. With this on, he won't be able to hurt me. I made my journey back to the swamp where the mean old ogre was waiting for me.
Back for more, are ya? I'll be happy to beat you again if you didn't learn your lesson the first time.
He grabbed me just like he did before, but when he threw me, my armor protected me from getting hurt. Nice try, but I'm ready for you this time. He was so surprised that he didn't have time to dodge my attack. I got him with my sword, then I hit him again. This time, he was the one who got knocked over.
Oh, fine, take what you came for. Just leave before the Green Goblin finds out you're here. He's scared of how strong you're getting, and he's not afraid to cheat and have someone else take you out before you find his hideout.
Whoa, so he's actually getting nervous.
Don't get too confident. You're still nowhere near tough enough to beat him. Just go.
So I grabbed a chest full of May's things, and I headed back to my base. On days 23 to 26, I returned to my base and went to find May. Here you go, I got this back for you.
Oh, thank you so much. It has everything I own inside. I was so scared that I lost it all after that ogre destroyed my house. Can I stay here for a little while though, before I find a new place to live?
Stay as long as you like.
Have you ever thought about building a guard tower to keep the base safe in case the Green Goblin sends any goons this way?
That's a great idea. I got to work building a guard tower, and when I was finished, I felt much safer. But I needed some ranged weapons to go with the guard tower, so I gathered flint, feathers, and string, and crafted a bow and arrows. Then May came over to talk to me, and she was holding something.
I found this in my chest of items, and I wanted to give it to you. My way of saying thanks for all of your help.
What is it?
A newspaper. It's enchanted. I think it might be useful for you.
Whoa, thank you so much. With my enchanted newspaper, my new guard tower, and my bow and arrow, I was feeling more prepared than ever. On days 27 to 31, I decided to get back to exploring and looking for new ways to get stronger. I hiked out to the Badlands to see what I could find. While I was exploring, I saw some tarantulas stuck in a hole. I'll get you guys out of there, just hold on. I helped them all climb out, and then I sent them back to my base so they would have a safe place to stay for a while. Spiders have to stick together. After I helped the tarantulas, I looked around the Badlands some more. There weren't any enemies to fight, but there was a lot of terracotta. This looks cool. I'll gather some for my base. I got as much terracotta as I could take with me and went back to my base to decorate with it. I worked hard on creating a beautiful terracotta floor in my room, and when it was finished, I kicked back and ate a snack. But I couldn't rest for very long.
Zozo, I need your help.
I sprung into action. What's wrong?
There's trouble in the rabbit burrow. We have to go help them.
Let's go.
On days 32 to 35, Harry and I went back to the underground rabbit burrow to check things out and help save the rabbits there. When we got there, we saw a bunch of the Green Goblin's gremlins attacking and throwing pumpkin bombs. They were destroying everything. Not so fast. Don't worry, rabbits. Your friendly neighborhood Spidey Zozo is here to help.
What are you gonna do about it?
I drew my sword. Remember this? They looked pretty nervous, and I started slashing left and right, taking down as many gremlins as I could. I thought I'd beaten all of them, but there was one more hiding behind a nearby wall. Before I could get to him, he pulled out another pumpkin bomb and threw it right at the Giza rabbit who helped me before. No! But it was too late. The gremlin blew him up. You'll pay for this! I took down the last gremlin fast, but I didn't feel any better. I was so upset about the Giza rabbit.
It's not your fault. It's the Green Goblin. He did this.
You're right, Harry, and we're gonna make sure he never hurts anyone else again. On days 36 to 39, I decided to head to the beach and see if I could find anything useful there. I needed all the strength and weapons I could get if I was going to beat the Green Goblin before he could strike again.
Are there any heroes out here? Please, I need help.
A hero? That's me. Who said that? I can help.
Me.
I looked over and I saw a walrus sitting on the sand. What's wrong?
Out there in the water is my favorite rock to sit on when I want to catch a few rays. But when I try to sit there now, there's a mean octopus who keeps attacking me and trying to pull me into the water.
That's not very nice. You wait here, friend. I'll go teach that octopus some manners.
Be careful, he's very smart.
It's okay, I'm pretty smart too. I swam out to the walrus's favorite rock and waited for the octopus to try and mess with me. Wow, what a nice rock. I sure hope no one tries to pull me into the water. But I did hope someone would try, and I was ready. I didn't think I could fight in the water while trying to swim at the same time, so I would have to be able to fight from a distance. Good thing I crafted a ranged weapon. I grabbed my bow and arrow and waited. Sure enough, that pesky octopus showed up and tried to grab me. Before he could, I fired my arrow at him, a direct hit. He tried to grab me again, so I fired a few more arrows for good measure until I was sure I had won. Then I swam back to the shore to give the walrus the good news.
Thank you so much. Are you the hero that's trying to take on the Green Goblin?
I sure am.
Well, here's some advice. I heard he's strong, but not very fast. That's why he throws those pumpkin bombs. If you can avoid his bombs, it'll be easier to get him.
Thanks so much. I'll remember that. On days 40 to 43, I returned home to my base. It was looking a little bit dull, so I decided to spruce up the place with some torches for extra light and to keep any zombies away. As I was finishing up, Harry came to see me.
Say, this looks great.
Thanks.
Do you think we could make room for some more guests to stay here? I met some squirrels in the woods who said the Green Goblin blew up the tree they were living in. I thought maybe we could help them out.
Sure, the more the merrier. Hey, let's build them a treehouse, then they'll feel right at home. Harry and I got to work, and before long, we built a great treehouse for the squirrels to live in. Then Harry went to get the squirrels and show them their new home. It felt good to help more people in need. It was a nice reminder that being a hero isn't just about beating bad guys, it's about helping those who need it. The tarantulas came to see me after I finished the treehouse, and then they told me that they heard a rumor about some baby spiders that were being held prisoner in a nearby cave. Well, I couldn't let that happen. I promised them I would go over there and rescue those baby spiders. On days 44 to 49, I traveled to the cave the tarantulas told me about to save those poor kidnapped baby spiders. When I got there, I couldn't see any baby spiders anywhere. I looked all over the place, but there weren't any spiders in that cave. Huh, that's weird.
You fell for my trap, Spidey. Ha 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 ha.
The Green Goblin jumped out from behind a rock.
There aren't any baby spiders here. It was a lie. But I knew that would get you to come here. Poor little hero with no one to save. Too bad, so sad.
You're scum, Green Goblin.
Oh, you wound me! You're running out of time, Spidey. Too bad you won't be able to save your buddy Spin before I blow him up. And when I'm done, I'll go to your base in the forest and blow that up too. That's right, I know where you've been hiding.
Why are you doing this?
Because I can. Wish I could stay and chat, but I've gotta run. I'll leave you with some company though.
Oh, minion!
A huge earth elemental came into the cave!
Bye, Spidey!
The Green Goblin ran away and disappeared, leaving me alone with the earth elemental. He looked pretty tough. Uh-oh. I had no choice. If I wanted to get out of there and get back to my base, I was gonna have to fight him. On days 50 to 53, I did my best to fight the Earth Elemental. He was a lot bigger than me, but I wasn't about to back down or let myself get scared. I stared him down and got ready. The Earth Elemental ran at me and knocked me back into the cave wall. But luckily, I had my armor on and it didn't take too much damage. I jumped back onto my feet and ran at the Earth Elemental with my sword. I got a few good hits in before he knocked me back again. Next, I climbed up onto a rock and shot an arrow at him. It hit, and while he was recovering, I jumped back down and rushed up to deliver a finishing blow. He went down, and I was the winner! Woohoo! I did it! I really am turning into a superhero. Wait, what's this? There was a book on the ground. I picked it up and started to read. The Notes of Norman Osborn. I hate spiders so much. One day I'll find a way to get rid of every spider in the world, and then I can finally be happy once they're gone. I'm so glad I found this underground cavern to build my laboratory and basin. It's the perfect place to do my work. So the Green Goblin hates spiders. That's why he's after me and why he took Spin. That's despicable. So his lair is in an underground cavern. There's a drawing of a map here showing where it is. I'm one step closer to defeating him once and for all. On days 54 to 57, I returned to the forest and started making my way back to the base. I've got to tell my friends what I've learned. But as I was walking, I heard someone crying for help. I followed the sound, and there was some baby spiders in a cage. Oh no, there really are some baby spiders in trouble. Hold on, little guys, I'll save you. I ran to let them out of the cage, but I couldn't find a key. Then a phantom swooped down on me. I was ready though, and I slashed at it with my sword until it went down. I saw that the phantom dropped the key, and also a blast protection enchantment. Awesome! This'll help keep me safe from the pumpkin bombs. I took the key and let the baby spiders out of the cage. Be free! Then I went back to my base to let the tarantulas know that I managed to help out the baby spiders. Then I told them all about what I found out about the Green Goblin and his lair. I showed them the map, and they recognized where the caverns were. They promised to help me find the caverns when I was ready to finally have my showdown against the villain. On days 58 to 62, I decided to plant some more crops so that we could have more food at the base. I went into the forest and gathered melons, then planted a bunch of melon seeds next to my wheat. Next, I decided it was finally time to upgrade my gear again. I went back down into the mine where I found my iron and started looking for some diamonds. It took a while and a lot of hard work, but finally I found some. Sweet! Time to craft some diamond gear. I was able to use the new materials to craft a diamond sword. After that was done, I expanded the base and added some more rooms, including a bedroom for Spin. After all, he's gonna need somewhere to stay when I finally rescue him. On days 63 to 66, the squirrels came up to talk to me. They told me that I might be able to find some useful materials at the stone shores. So naturally, I decided to head out there and see what I could find. When I arrived there, I couldn't see much of anything that would help me beat the Green Goblin. I was starting to feel discouraged. Then, I saw a stone monster coming toward me. Oh no, I guess I have to fight this guy now. But to my surprise, he didn't want to fight. He just wanted my help getting rid of a mean mutant creeper that took over the cove and killed his uncle, Ben. I'm so sorry that happened. Of course I'll help. I asked him to show me where he last saw the mutant creeper, and he pointed me in the right direction. A hero's work is never done. I guess with great power comes great responsibility, but I'm ready for it anyway. On day 67 to 70, I traveled to the part of the cove that the mutant creeper had taken over. I could get more fighting experience and help someone at the same time. Just another day of being a superhero. Come on out, you mean mutant creeper. I'm here to dispense some justice. As soon as it heard me, the mutant creeper came out of hiding and rushed at me to attack. It came at me and started hitting me, but I countered with my sword and my armor protected me from the damage. I knew I had to defeat it before it had a chance to charge up or explode, so I had to work fast, faster than I ever had before in a fight. It was hard, but I managed to take down the mutant creeper before it could blow up. Whew, that was a close one. Then I went back to the stone monster. That mutant creeper won't be bothering you ever again. All in a day's work for an up-and-coming superhero. On day 71 to 74, I traveled to the desert to gather some sandstone. As I was walking, I noticed an unusual rock formation. It spelled out, if you're enjoying this adventure, find more Zozo videos by searching for Zio. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Wow, nature really is amazing. Now back to what I was doing.
Having a nice little desert stroll, eh, Spidey?
The Green Goblin suddenly appeared. I wasn't expecting to fight you so soon, but I guess there's no time like the present.
Watching you lose will be a gift.
I drew my sword and got ready to fight. The Green Goblin tossed a pumpkin bomb at me, and I had to dodge, but I got caught in the blast. Ouch! I lost a few hearts. I hate to admit it, but I'm still not strong enough. I need to get out of here. So that I would live to fight another day, I ran away as fast as I could before he could attack again. That was a close one. On day 75 to 78, I ran back to my base with some of the stone I managed to gather before the Green Goblin attacked me. I built a stone wall around the whole base. Awesome, this is looking great. At least something good came out of my trip to the desert. When I finished building the wall, Harry the Rabbit came up to me.
Zozo, I found something, and I wanted to give it to you as a present. Thanks for everything you've done for me. You're a great friend and a real hero. Here you go, it's a cobweb.
Whoa, thanks! I took the cobweb, and it reminded me of my Spidey strength and everything I had accomplished so far. I felt myself growing bigger, and I gained 3 more hearts. On days 79 to 84, I decided to try out my new strength and bigger size by fighting some bad guys. If I wanted to push myself, a good way to do that would be to fight in the cold. So I went out to the snowy tundra to look for some mobs I could fight to keep everyone a little bit safer. I didn't have to look for very long before I found some gremlins bullying a snowy goat. Hey, stop that!
Who's gonna stop us?
Me!
Oh yeah, we're so scared.
They didn't know how much stronger I was, so they weren't ready for how much better I was at fighting. It didn't take long before I beat them. I asked the snowy goat if he wanted to come back to my base and stay there for a while.
No thanks, I'm good. Could you walk me home though? It's just near here.
Sure. So I walked with the snowy goat until we reached his house.
You seem like a nice kid. Here, take this. Maybe it'll be of some use to you.
Then he gave me a vine lasso. This is great, thanks. Now I can attack the Green Goblin from a distance. Saving people is its own reward, but it's also pretty nice to get a gift every now and then. On days 85 to 89, I went back to my base. When I got there, I saw there were gremlins attacking.
Let's burn this place down before Spidey gets back.
Too late, I'm already here.
Uh-oh.
The gremlins ran away, but I chased after them. Hey, I've gotten faster. Before too long, I had almost caught up to them, but I was stopped by the Ragnarok.
Please help. Those nasty gremlins stole my falconry hood. I need it for my favorite eagle.
Don't worry, I'll get it back for you. Using my newly increased speed, I chased after the gremlins and caught up to them. Once I did, I beat them quickly and grabbed the falconry hood to take back to the Ragnarok. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
It's what I do. On days 90 to 94, I followed the gremlin footprints into the deep forest. This must be where they were hiding out before they attacked my base.
Oh look, it's Spidey. Come to lose another fight.
There was a gremlin chef waiting for me. Do I know you?
Oh, but you should. I'm the Green Goblin's top henchman. The guy who handles all of his biggest problems. And you're a pretty big problem. A bug that needs to be squashed.
He looked pretty tough, but I wasn't about to back down from this fight. I had to prove that I could take on the Green Goblin, so I needed to beat his right-hand man first. Let's do this! On days 95 to 97, I fought as hard as I could against the Gremlin Chef. At first, it was not going very well. He was dodging all of my attacks, one after another. Man, this guy's tough.
Might as well give up now, Spidey. You'll never beat me, and you'll never beat the Green Goblin.
But I thought about Spin and everyone else who the Green Goblin was putting in danger, and I knew I couldn't give up. I grabbed the vine lasso and threw it at the Gremlin Chef. It caught him. I was able to get him still enough to land a hit, and then the fight started to turn around. Finally, I knocked him down for good. As I was getting ready to leave, I noticed that he dropped something on the ground. Cave centipede leggings. I decided to put them on and see what they would do. I went back to my base and realized I could now climb up walls. This is perfect. I'll be able to use this to avoid the Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs and be faster than him. This is just what I needed. On day 98, I was back at my base and practicing climbing walls with my new cave centipede leggings. When I stopped to take a break, Harry came up to talk to me.
I just wanted to say, you've turned into an amazing hero, Zozo. I'm so glad I met you. If anyone can beat the Green Goblin, it's you.
Thank you. Next, May came up to see me. She brought me some diamond armor.
I spent the last few days making this for you. I hope you can use it when you take on the Green Goblin.
This is amazing! Thank you so much! Then the squirrels and the tarantulas thanked me for everything I had done for them. The tarantulas said that even though I wasn't a real spider, they considered me one of their own anyway. It really meant a lot to me. I was feeling braver and stronger than ever, with all of my friends by my side. On day 99, I asked the tarantulas to give me directions to the Green Goblin's underground lair. They told me where to go, and I headed out. It was now or never. As I was making my way toward the caverns, a cockroach scuttled past me.
You can do it!
Thanks, cockroach. I wasn't sure how she knew what I was doing, but I appreciated the encouragement anyway. Finally, I reached the Green Goblin's cavern lair, but the outside was crawling with green golems standing guard. Oh no, how am I gonna get inside?
I'll help you.
It was the walrus I saved from the octopus.
I'll take care of these guys. You get inside and get to the Green Goblin.
On day 100, it was finally time for me to face off against the biggest, baddest villain around, the Green Goblin. I was pretty scared, but I also knew how far I'd come and how many people believed in me.
So, you made it. Such a shame you came all this way just to die.
He threw a pumpkin bomb at me, but I dodged it and climbed up a nearby wall. I learned some new tricks, Goblin.
They won't be enough to beat me.
We'll see about that. From my place on the wall, I shot an arrow at him. He dodged it, but I jumped down and swung at him with my sword, and it hit him. Then I ran back up the wall and got ready to attack from a distance again.
I wouldn't shoot any more arrows at me if I were you. Look what I have.
And he had Spin there with him, tied up. I had to get Spin out of the way so he wouldn't get hurt when I attacked the Green Goblin. I thought quickly and used my vine lasso to pull Spin toward me and out of the way, just as the Green Goblin threw another pumpkin bomb. Then I remembered, I had the explosive bottle. I could beat the Green Goblin at his own game. Let's get out of here, Spin.
Running away, are you?
Nope, just getting far enough to do this. I threw the explosive bottle at the Green Goblin. Then I got out of there as fast as I could. Boom! The cavern exploded, and I knew the Green Goblin was gone once and for all. I finally had my friend back, and the land was saved. All thanks to your friendly neighborhood Zozo. On day 1, I spawned in as a Lego man. Looks like I'm a baby Lego man. Figures. Wait, it looks like the whole Minecraft world is made out of Lego. That's amazing. I looked around the desert I'd spawned into and saw other Lego people walking around. All villagers, by the looks of it. I've never seen anything like this. What's going on here?
Allow me to explain, Lego Zozo.
I turned and saw a more sinister Lego man with a scary-looking helmet and a business suit. He didn't look friendly.
I'm Lord Business, soon to be the new manager of this Lego world. I'm gonna keep things clean, orderly, and most importantly, profitable.
That doesn't sound so bad.
Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, to make profits, you need to cut costs. And I'm gonna cut costs by destroying all those who oppose me. Starting here!
He swung his hammer, and suddenly the desert was filled with explosions, tearing into the ground and blowing up all the Lego villagers around me. Just like that, I was all alone. I'm not gonna let you get away with this, Lord Business. I will defeat you. Lord Business just laughed and stomped over towards me.
I've got a tight business plan, Zozo. I'll have control of this entire world in 100 days. And unless you become a master builder, you'd have no hope of stopping me. And it's not like that's gonna happen.
I wanted to fight back and defend myself, but I was just a baby and I didn't have any weapons. That's when a swarm of soul vultures appeared and started chasing me. All I could do was run.
There's only one way out of this. I need to figure out what exactly a master builder is and become one in 100 days so I can defeat Lord Business and stop him from taking over the world. On day 2, after running for hours and hours, I ended up leaving the desert and entering the savannah. I may not have any weapons yet, but at least I'm tough. 5 Lego hearts? Even my health and hunger bar look like Lego pieces. And I'd need those Lego hearts because I still hadn't lost Lord Business's gang of nasty soul vultures. They were tough and fast, and I still didn't have any gear to fight them off with. Don't you guys have something better to do than hassle a baby Lego man? As the soul vultures got closer, I could feel my energy depleting. It was almost nightfall, and now I was really in trouble. Then, flaming arrows went flying through the sky. Someone was shooting at the soul vultures. The flames scared them, and the flock retreated. Someone had saved my life. That's when I saw a Lego villager hiding behind some cover. Thanks for saving my life, man.
No problem. Name's Bruce. I'm part of the resistance against Lord Business and his evil plans.
Wait, there's a resistance? Please let me in on it. I want to help defeat Lord Business too.
Then you better follow me. It's dangerous to be around here at nightfall.
Before we go, do you perhaps have any food? My Lego belly is starting to rumble.
No problem, little man. Here are some cooked mutton Lego bricks.
On day 3, Bruce and I went to a village in the middle of the savannah.
The village provides cover for the resistance. All the key members are hiding out here. None of us want Lord Business to turn this world into his personal piggy bank.
Bruce took me to a secret building in the middle of town where he wanted me to meet the resistance leader, an Egyptian illager named Osiris, sitting in a chair in his private library. Everyone was gathered around the table, so I sat behind it as well. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Osiris. I'm Zozo. Bruce told me you're the leader of the resistance against Lord Business.
This is true. Bruce told me you wish to join us.
That's also true. Lord Business attacked me when I first spawned, and he told me he's gonna take over the world in the next 100 days. I could only stop him if I became something called a Master Builder. Osiris seemed shocked. He stood up and came walking towards me.
A Master Builder? He said those exact words? Master Builder?
Yeah, but I have no idea what it means. Do you know anything about Master Builders, Osiris?
Legends tell of the Master Builders. They're Lego men who have mastered the sacred art of construction. Through training and special techniques, they can build anything. Some say they're so good at building, they don't even need to use weapons to fight. They can use building itself as a weapon.
I jumped with excitement. Oh my gosh, that sounds incredible! How can I become one?
It won't be easy, but it's possible. It will take training in the art of building, of course, but most importantly of all, you must be taught the secret techniques by the 4 Master Builders hidden across the world. And if we are to have any hope of stopping Lord Business, you'll need to do all of this in less than 100 days.
I waved goodbye and exited the secret building. On days 4 to 5, I began my first pieces of work and training. After all, I couldn't even think about seeking the other Master Builders until I'd completed some basic training. Tools! First, I gotta make myself some tools. So I went over to the nearby trees and started gathering up some wood. It wasn't easy to punch through the trees, but soon enough, I had enough wood to make a crafting bench, and then my first set of wooden tools. These look pretty cool, but a Master Builder needs better than wooden tools. Using my wooden shovel and pickaxe, I started digging into the ground until I hit stone and collected enough blocks to build myself a full set of stone gear, including tools and a sword. Because I was now an official part of the resistance, Osiris said I was allowed to build my base on the edge of the village, so I started using my spare wood and stone blocks to build the foundations of my base. The first step was building rooms for myself and Bruce, the Lego villager who had saved my life in the desert. It's always nice to have a friend living with you. Bruce hurried towards me, looking frantic.
Zozo, the building is gonna have to wait. I can see a bunch of zombies creeping towards us out of the savannah. We need to stop them.
Luckily, I had my new stone sword, so I pulled it out and ran in, ready to kick some moldy zombie booty. You're messing with a future Master Builder here. You're gonna regret this. And they did, because it didn't take me long to defeat the zombies and return to my base, glowing with victory. That's when I started to change. I upgraded, getting bigger and gaining 2 hearts. 7 hearts? This is awesome! On days 6 through 8, I was wandering through the savannah until I reached a forest. I was collecting more wood for my base when I saw a wooden villager being attacked by this big and ugly-looking bug called a sectoid. But the wooden villager was fighting back, building walls between him and the attacking sectoid. I've never seen anyone fight like this before. Maybe That's when the wooden villager noticed me.
Are you gonna stand there all day, son? Or are you gonna give me a hand with this thing?
Oh, right, sorry. I ran in with my stone sword and joined the fight. The sectoid was tough, but with me and the wooden villager working together, we had a chance. Every time the sectoid tried to attack me, the wooden villager quickly built a little wall between us. Soon enough, the sectoid was exhausted and confused, and I was able to defeat it with my stone sword. He dropped some string. I guess it makes sense. He did look a bit like a spider. All that was left was me and the wooden villager. I wanted to know more about his special fighting skills.
Thanks for the assist, kid. Who are you?
I'm Zozo, and who are you?
I'm Master Ren.
Wait, Master? As in Master Builder? Can you help me learn to be like you?
Sure thing, kid. Your training starts now. You're gonna help me chase a soul eater out of a cave near here.
Sounds like a plan, Master. Let's go. On days 9 to 10, Master Ren and I made our way through the forest until we found the cave he told me about. Before we go in, Master Ren, what's the first lesson? How can I fight like a master builder?
The first technique is the one you saw me using in the woods, kid. When your opponent tries to attack you, you build a wall between you and them.
Okay, I think I'm ready. Let's do this. I followed Master Ren into the cave, where the Soul Eater was waiting. It was even bigger and scarier than I thought it'd be, and the second it saw us, it flew towards us.
Now is the time, Zozo. Try out the technique I taught you.
But with the Soul Eater charging towards me, I panicked. I couldn't help it. I tried to build the wall between us as quickly as I could, but the Soul Eater just flew over the tiny barricade and started attacking me. In one strike, I lost a bunch of hearts. Uh-oh, I need to get out of here. I ran out of the cave and Master Ren followed me. Felt so embarrassed to lose in front of him like that, but he didn't seem to mind.
Perhaps I will need to train you more cautiously, young Zozo.
How about you come stay at my base? You can train me more there.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
On days 11 to 12, I returned back to my base with Master Ren and started adding another floor to the base. This way, he can have his own room. I hope this is to your liking, Master Ren.
Well, it's clear you have much to learn in the way of building. But thank you, Zozo. It'll do.
While Master Ren was resting up, I decided to put my building skills to good use. I created a custom crafting room where I could perfect my crafting skills and store my creations. By the time I was done, I saw that Osiris had arrived at my base, and he had something to tell me.
How's the training going, Zozo?
It's, going. What's up?
I figured it was finally time for me to tell you about what's really going on and why Lord Business is doing everything he's doing. You see, creativity is a wonderful thing, and it's a skill that all master builders are required to develop. But the purest kind of creativity is the kind used to make people happy. The darkest kind is the one that Lord Business has fallen prey to. Creativity to satisfy greed. All he cares about is money, and everything that people create, he seeks to own, and he's willing to destroy anyone who gets in the way of his bottom line.
After hearing this story, I went out into the forest and gathered more sticks and wooden blocks. I made a little fenced-up area in the backyard of my base and herded some cows into it, as well as making a small wheat farm alongside it. If I'm gonna become a master builder, I need to be able to build everything. On days 13 to 15, I approached Ren, who was practicing in an archery range I had built for him on the other side of the base. Hey Ren, I was wondering, do you know other ways I can improve my building abilities?
Well, I suppose there is this handy tool I usually use. It's called a builder's wand, and it lets you build much faster by extending connected block faces.
What? You didn't think to mention this before in the cave?
Well, I have been known to be a bit forgetful here and there. Here, have one.
Ren tossed out the wand for me. Thanks. Well, hopefully you can remember anything about master builders since, you know, you are one of them. Osiris said something about there being 4 master builders out there, and I've only found you.
Perhaps your best bet is searching the snowy tundra. I've heard tales of mysterious buildings popping up there. It could be the work of a master builder.
Then I guess the snowy tundra is exactly where I'm heading.
Word of advice, Zozo.
Build yourself a bow first. You never know when it'll come in handy for you. Before setting off for the snowy tundra, I tested out the builder's wand, and sure enough, it makes building walls much easier. This tool is really useful. I also followed Ren's advice and made myself a bow, just in case. All I needed were some feathers, and luckily there were a few chickens around, so I could craft the arrows as well. Better to have a bow and not need it, right? I made my way across the map to the snowy tundra. Part of me hoped I'd find the next master builder waiting for me, but it turned out that the snowy tundra was huge. It'd take me forever to find someone here. But it didn't take long for a mutant snow golem to find me and start attacking. You must work for Lord Business. Jeez, is there anyone outside the village who doesn't work for that guy? I tried my best to use Master Ren's technique, building walls in front of the attacking snow golem, but he was still too fast for me, even with the builder's wand. In the end, I kept my distance and finished him off with the bow. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be good enough to be a master builder at this rate. But the mutant snow golem did drop something, a builder's potion, which helps the speed of my mining and building. Just what the doctor ordered. I returned to my base and took the potion, practicing by digging a huge hole near my base and collecting a bunch of stone blocks. It was a good exercise because soon enough, I leveled up and gained 2 more hearts. 9 hearts? This is rad! On days 16 to 19, I continued exploring, hoping I might find another master builder hiding inside some ancient ruins. This place is so old and spooky. It seems just like the kind of place an old master would hang out. But I was half right. I didn't find a master builder here, but I did find an ancient sign that might lead me to one. It read, "He who seeks to reach the peak of skill must climb to the peak itself. A master dwells where the air is thin." Thin air. Peaks? That sounds like a mountain. I know where I need to go now. But I couldn't celebrate too quickly. A group of Barakoa ancient people sent by Lord Business had cornered me. I needed to think fast. What would a master builder do? That's when I had an idea. Using all the stone I'd mined in the days before, I quickly ran around the group of Barakoa, building a wall around them that boxed them all in. It was quite tricky because they were surprisingly fast for their short stature. Eventually, I did succeed in boxing them in though. Before any of them had a chance to escape, I fled the ancient ruins, safe to fight another day. Master Ren is gonna be so proud of me. On days 20 through 22, I was making my way through the forest, gathering up materials to prepare for my journey into the mountains. These mountains are treacherous. I should really upgrade my gear before I go. While I was in the forest, some spiders attacked me. I was low on stone at the time, so I decided to defeat them with my stone sword instead of doing it the Master Builder way. Variety is the spice of life. Once the spiders were dealt with, I mined until I stumbled into a small cave system. I found some iron deposits. It took a while to mine all of it, but in no time I had enough to smelt and craft into a set of iron armor and tools. It made me feel so cool and powerful. Maybe it's time for me to pay my old enemy a visit. With my new tools and my new power, I went back to the cave where I'd almost been defeated by the Soul Eater. But this time, it was going to happen the other way around. Come get me, Soul Eater. I'll give you something to chew on. I decided to go for a mix of standard and Master Builder tactics. As the Soul Eater flew towards me, I used my skill to quickly build a wall around the Soul Eater, trapping him in place. But there was no time to waste. I pulled out my new iron sword and one-shotted the Soul Eater right in the head. How do you like me now, you cave-dwelling meanie?
Having fun, Zozo?
I turned and saw Lord Business standing at the cave entrance and staring at me. Lord Business, what are you doing here?
Watching your pathetic attempt to become a master builder. You really think you can make a difference? You're not special, Zozo. And believe me, when my factories are complete, we'll never need people like you to make anything ever again.
And with that, he disappeared. Factories? That doesn't sound good. On days 23 to 26, I returned to my base, eager to tell Master Ren that I'd used my new skills to take down the Soul Eater.
This is an amazing development, Zozo. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Master Ren. I couldn't have done it without your help.
I have a reward for you, a special schematic for a new tool I've built. I think you'll find it quite useful.
Master Ren gave me a book full of instructions, and I went into the crafting room to begin building. By the time I was done, I had a multi-tool. One tool that can be a pickaxe, a shovel, an axe, a sword, and a hoe, all in one. This is a perfect tool for a master builder. I then used my new iron multi-tool to clear the mess we did outside the base.
I also used it to gather some more food. I then took some time to build a wall around my base. Now nobody with bad intentions could get in. On days 27 to 31, I decided to finally follow the instructions I saw in the ancient ruins. As I arrived at the ruins, I saw the Barakoa were gone, so I made my way up into the mountains. It was dark, cold, and difficult to climb, but it was worth it if it'd make me be a better builder. I couldn't see any mobs, thankfully, but I was so high up that if I fell, I probably would have been done for anyway. Then, without warning, an Iceman landed on the ground next to me.
Who goes there?
What? Where did you come from?
That doesn't matter. Why are you invading my domain, stranger?
I'm Zozo, and I swear I didn't mean to intrude. I just came here to look for a master builder.
Then you found him. I'm Master Frost, the master builder of the mountains.
That's when I saw how Master Frost had gotten the jump on me. He'd immediately built a staircase behind me and used it to attack me from above. He really was a master builder. Want to come back to my base, Master Frost? I'd love to learn from you. I can even make you your own room.
Sure, why not? It's been a while since I've taught a young whippersnapper in the tricks.
While we made our way back to my base, we came across a rainbow tree. Frost built some stairs so I could reach the top, and I mined some unique material with my multi-tool. Super colorful rainbow grass blocks. I returned to my base afterwards and built a new room for Master Frost, even giving him a window made from rainbow glass blocks. It was almost done when Bruce approached me in a panic.
Zozo! Lord Business has sent some minions to attack the village. We need your help immediately.
On days 32 to 35, I rushed into the village with Bruce, ready to defend it from whatever attack Lord Business had unleashed on us. But I wasn't expecting to see a gang of ender creepers crawling all over the village. The whole village was completely overrun by creepers. They were chasing innocent villagers all around the village. Oh no! Looks like Lord Business really took his evil up a notch. Knowing it was dangerous to take on the ender creepers up close, Bruce and I pulled out our bows and started shooting the ender creepers, trying to take them out before they exploded. We had to be extra careful, but with the help of Bruce, we managed to get a lot of them. A few unfortunately slipped through the net, with awful consequences. Bruce suddenly looked towards Osiris's secret base.
Zozo, look! They're cornering Osiris!
Bruce was right! Osiris was being cornered by an ender creeper, slowly creeping towards him. We heard him beg for mercy.
No! No, please don't do this!
Before we could get close enough to save the Resistance beloved leader, we heard it! A Lego boom! The ender creeper exploded, setting off a chain reaction that blew up a bunch of the other houses. The whole village was in ruins! We rushed to check out Osiris's secret base, but all we saw was smoke rolling out. He was gone! Osiris, no! There was so much left unsaid between us!
Come on, Zozo, we can mourn later. We need to stop these heavy creepers before they can do any more damage.
It didn't take us long to defeat the rest of the ender creepers, but with Osiris gone, our morale had taken a serious hit. On days 36 to 39, I decided I needed to search further if I wanted to find the third and fourth master builder. That's why I traveled all the way to the Ice Spikes, a scary and desolate land even further away than the snowy tundra. Master builder! Is there a master builder anywhere? I soon came across a Viking villager named Olaf. He was camping in one of the Ice Spikes, eating a Lego apple. He looked exhausted. You okay there, buddy?
Oh yes, just taking a breather.
You wouldn't happen to be a master builder, would you?
No, afraid not. I'm just a Viking. But I can tell you where to find a master builder if you help me deal with a little problem I'm having.
That sounds awesome. What do you need?
There's a bad snowman around here I've been trying to destroy, but I'm having an off day. If you can take care of him for me, I'll give you the information you need.
Deal. I wandered around the Ice Spikes until I found the bad snowman that Olaf had warned me about. Thankfully, I still had plenty of energy, so I pulled out my multi-tool sword and took him by surprise. Don't mess with this, Lego man. That's no joke. He even left a few carrots and snowballs in his chest. Maybe the Viking will want to play a snowball fight with me. I returned to the Viking and told him the good news. The bad snowman had been defeated.
Finally! I thought I'd never get to leave this stinking place.
Yeah, the snowman even left a few snowballs behind. Wanna play a snowball fight?
No thanks. I'm too old and tired for such games.
Oh, okay. So how about the Master Builder? Where can I find the next one?
I heard there's one of them hiding out in the swamp, but he likes his privacy.
No offense, but you should probably get better before you go see him. If you're not experienced enough, he'll think you're just wasting his time.
On days 40 through 43, I returned to the base. Walking through the rubble the creepers left behind reminded me of the loss of our great Osiris leader. This is no time for sadness. I'm ready to practice and improve my building skills, so one day I can have my vengeance. I added some new furniture to the base, along with some bookcases that helped me study the craft of master building. Master Ren approached me midway through my renovations with a new request.
Zozo, my student, Lord Business's latest creeper attack on the village has destroyed many homes and left many LEGO villagers homeless. You should do them a kindness and make room in your base for them to live in the meantime.
Master Ren made a good point. I invited in the homeless LEGO villagers and started building another level to my base, complete with beds for them all to sleep in. Just as I finished, Master Frost came to me with an urgent message.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Zozo, but I've received some vital information. Some of my allies have followed up on the lead for one of Lord Business's factories. I need you to investigate and find out what's going on. It's also the perfect time for you to test out my attack from above technique.
Of course, Master Frost, I won't let you down. On days 44 to 49, I followed Master Frost's instructions until I reached the factory. It was a spooky looking building, so harsh and out of place in this fun LEGO world. I need to stop this madness as soon as possible before it ruins the whole world. I crept inside, trying to stay hidden. But while I may have gotten really good at building, I was kind of terrible at creeping because Lord Business noticed me immediately.
This is private property, Zozo. Did none of your masters ever teach you not to trespass? It's rude.
It's also rude to be an evil overlord. What's your endgame, Lord Business? What's the big plan here?
Well, since you'll never leave this place alive, I guess I can tell you. You see this factory? I'm going to cover the whole world in thousands like it and fill it with builders like you. You'll all either work for me or be destroyed, endlessly building products that I can sell for a massive profit. All for me!
You'll never get away with this! I won't let you!
You don't have a choice. Remember the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. Speaking of which, meet a friend of mine, the Gold Warrior.
A Gold Warrior stepped out from the darkness, ready to fight.
Get rid of him. I'm a little too busy to stick around and watch.
Lord Business disappeared again, and the Gold Warrior charged at me. On days 50 through 53, I tried to use my skills to fend off the Gold Warrior. He was the strongest enemy I'd ever faced, and he wasn't giving up easy. No matter how fast I tried to run away from him, he caught up to me. Can't we just talk this out, Mr. Gold Warrior? He didn't seem to think so. Instead, he kept trying to jab me with his lethal spiky club. I kept building walls between us, but every time, he'd effortlessly get around them. I was in real trouble. I tried taking him down with a bow, but he used his shield to stop the arrows. I got one shot in, but that was about it. This is not effective. I need to change tactics. I pulled out my multi-tool and activated the sword. I couldn't stop him with my master builder techniques or my bow, so I was going to have to fight him directly instead. It was a tough battle, and I lost quite a few hearts along the way. I even got down to half a heart. Luckily, I was able to build my way to safety and eat to regain my health. Phew, this is getting intense. But all right, here goes round 2. After a lot of fighting, I was finally able to defeat him. When he went down, he dropped his gold shield and a golden key. Oh, I wonder what this unlocks. I better keep it in my inventory. You never know when you need a key. On days 54 to 57, I left Lord Business's spooky factory and made my way outside onto the plains. But something was already out there waiting for me. A powerful earth elemental, ready to battle. The earth elemental started walking towards me, but out here in the open, I could use my master building skills. I quickly started using the Master Frost technique, building stairs so I could run up them and attack from above. It's over, I have the high ground. I leaped down onto the earth elemental and destroyed him in one direct strike to the head. He dropped a powerful Protection 3 enchantment book too. This will make me a lot more resistant to damage when I apply it to my armor. But I should probably wait until I get better armor and apply it then. With my mission complete, I returned to my base to tell Master Frost. I found him sitting on a bench by the lake as he made ice around him freeze up. I told him about Lord Business's evil plan and about my mastery of his technique.
Excellent work, Zozo! Despite the frightening news, Go see Bruce in a few days. He'll have something valuable for you to do then.
Will do. Just make sure that all the fish don't freeze. On days 58 to 62, I decided that my base needed a little tender love and care, so I decided to expand the farm to also include chickens. Anyone else want a fried egg? But my base was only 1/2 of my defenses. I needed to get myself better armor and tools too. That's why I used my multi-tool to dig into a mine behind my base, going deeper and deeper until I finally found some diamonds. Even though they look like Lego pieces, diamonds are still a master builder's best friend. I took the diamonds back into my crafting room and built myself a full set of diamond gear, weapons, tools, and armor. Then I crafted myself an anvil and applied the Protection 3 book to my diamond chestplate. Now I finally have some proper protection. Wait, what is this? I don't have a full armor bar. I guess Lego diamonds aren't quite as tough as real diamonds. After all that hard work, I built and added a new floor with a lounge and a small terrace to my base, so I could finally put my feet up and relax. I just knew it wouldn't last for long. On days 63 to 66, I approached Bruce the Lego villager and asked him what he had for me.
I've been closely observing your progress, Zozo, and I believe you finally have what it takes to meet the next Master Builder. I've marked out the swamp where he lives on your map. Seek him out and learn his teachings.
Thank you, Bruce. Wish me luck. Over the next couple days, I made the long journey to the swamp. It was a dark and humid place with a strong, musty smell. I really didn't want to spend too long here. Even less so when I saw a huge Polypham running towards me, ready to fight.
Get out of my swamp, intruder!
The Polypham was twice the size of me. I'd never stand a chance against him in a fight. I tried to run away, but he was way ahead of me. The Polypham mined into the ground and rapidly tunneled below me before popping back up out of the ground right in front of me. Please, I don't want any trouble. I'm just looking for the Master Builder. The Polypham immediately stopped.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Nice to meet you. I'm Master Tony, the Master Builder of the Swamp.
Master Tony, I'm so pleased to see you. I was told you didn't like visitors.
Normally I don't, but today I need a hand. I've got a monstrous swamp leech infestation. If you help me with that, I'll teach you a thing or two.
On days 67 to 70, I followed Master Tony deeper into the swamp to help him take on his monstrous swamp leech problem.
Being a Master Builder, I'm pretty strong, but leeches have always squicked me out, so I appreciate your help on this.
It didn't take us long to find the leech infestation. I didn't want to get too close either. They looked pretty freaky, so I pulled out my bow and picked them all off at a distance, one arrow at a time. Leeches, be gone! Whoa, I should have been a pest controller.
Great job, Zozo. I'm glad I don't need to look at those nasty things anymore.
Happy to help. Now, how about that technique? Master Tony was a man of his word. He showed me how he'd mastered the combat tunneling technique, how you could use your pickaxe to dig into the ground to escape, or create pits for enemies to fall into. This is awesome! I only need to learn from one more master, and I'll be a Master Builder myself! On days 71 through 74, while searching the plains, I found an entrance leading to some kind of bunker. What could have been inside? And if you like crazy mysteries and wild adventures, you should search for more Zozo videos by typing ZO into your search bar. I prepared my diamond sword and climbed down through the door. It looked like some kind of secret bunker underneath, filled with bookshelves and books all marked factory plans. Wait, this place must be owned by Lord Business!
Clever observation, Zozo!
Lord Business suddenly came out of the secret bookshelf entrance and swung at me with his netherite sword. I barely dodged in time.
I made a mistake, sending my minions to destroy you before. I should just get it over with and destroy you myself.
I tried to fight back, swinging my sword at him, but every time he blocked my strike and fought back, knocking off a few of my hearts.
You're no Master Builder, Zozo. You're weak and pathetic.
As Lord Business tried to finish me off, all I could do was escape. In a frantic panic, I built a wall between him and myself and made my way out of the bunker while he broke through it. I wasn't strong enough to beat him. All I could do was run, but at least I escaped. This time anyway. On days 75 through 78, I continued making improvements on my base. It was one of the tallest and most impressive bases I've ever made, so I decided to build downwards too. That's why I made a cozy basement to hold extra supplies. I even installed a few beds just in case. Just as I was finishing up, Master Frost approached me with a gift.
Zozo, I just wanted to tell you, I'm so proud of all the work you're doing. Nobody is fighting back against Lord Business as hard as you. I wanted to give you a gift as a token of my thanks. It's a potion of strength I brewed for you.
Wow, thanks, Master Frost. I can't wait to try it. I drank the potion and felt myself getting bigger and stronger by the second. By the time the transformation was done, I was a full-grown Lego man with 12 hearts. Let's see Lord Business try to take me on now. On days 79 through 84, I decided to travel for a bit to flex my new strength and Master Builder abilities by taking on some bad guys in the forest. Lucky for me, a gang of bad guys weren't hard to find, as when things got dark, the woods soon became filled with angry skeletons. You guys have got to go down, no bones about it. They didn't appreciate my bad pun. Instead, they attacked me. I decided to put all my Master Builder skills to use in stopping them. First, I used Master Frost's technique. I quickly made a stairway and climbed to the top to get away from them. Can't get me up here. Then, I used Master Tony's special technique. I leaped down onto the ground from above and started digging until I formed a big, square hole in the ground. It didn't take long for the skeletons to follow me and fall in as I climbed back out. Then I capped it off with Master Ren's technique and built a roof over the pit where all the skeletons were trapped, sealing them away forever. Wow, I'm almost a Master Builder. It's true, and I like your style, Zozo. I turned and saw that an Egyptian jackal had been standing there and watching me the whole time. He seemed impressed. I'm Master Joey, the final Master Builder. I hear you've been looking for me. You heard correctly, Master Joey. Can you teach me your special technique so I can finally become a true Master Builder? I won't give you a technique, Zozo, but I will give you a tool. The hammer. When you need it to destroy blocks in a hurry, you just can't beat it. Congratulations, you're a Master Builder now! On days 85 through 89, I came back to my base with new tools and new knowledge, only to find that we were under attack from a horde of spider creepers. They were crawling all across the village and exploding, destroying chunks of the buildings. I was terrified they would go for my base and the people inside. I can't let you do this. One of the spiders came crawling towards me. Fortunately, Bruce came out of one of the buildings with his bow, helping me fight back.
Don't worry, Zozo. You won't need to fight alone. I've got your back.
So we fought together, taking on and taking out most of the spider creepers until the rest ran out into the savannah. I've got to go get them. I can't let them get away this time. But as I tried to chase the fleeing group, I saw a baby Lego villager being chased by a spider creeper. I needed to save him. Don't worry, baby, I'll save you. I pulled out my diamond sword, charged in, and defeated the spider creeper.
Thank you, Zozo. You saved my life.
On days 90 to 94, after saving the Lego villager baby, I ran into the forest to chase the fleeing gang of spider creepers. You creeps are gonna pay for what you did to the village. I chased them until I saw that they were trying to hide in a nearby cave, but it was too late. I already saw them. I ran in, ready to fight with my diamond sword, until I noticed that I'd been lured into a trap. There was an ender creeper waiting for me, and he was wearing a name tag. It read, Vice President to Lord Business. Uh-oh, I guess you're not gonna be easy to fight then, are you? The ender creeper, VP, didn't even reply. He just came running at me, and I began to panic. Better use my Master Builder skills. I couldn't make a staircase in the cave, but I could still use Master Ren's technique and make a wall. I quickly built one up between us, but VP teleported right through it and hit me, knocking off a few hearts. Looks like this is gonna be my hardest battle yet. On days 95 through 97, the battle raged on. VP truly was the toughest enemy I'd ever fought, and often when I tried to hit him, he teleported out of the way. Why won't you stay still and fight fair, VP? You're the VP of being a lousy cheater. Being an ender creeper, he also had the ability to teleport lit TNT right on top of my head. Oh man, I've got to be careful and dodge his falling TNT. That's when I figured out the perfect method of stopping him. I used Master Tony's technique and created a hole, tricking the ender creeper into falling into it. After that, all it took was one strike from above to destroy the ender creeper. He even dropped a banana waba brick, one of the strongest unbreakable pickaxes in the world. So of course, I grabbed it. In that moment, I had a vision, revealing the truth about Lord Business. Once, he also wanted to be a master builder, and he sought out the secrets to learn the knowledge and the techniques. But in the end, it was never meant to be. He was too greedy and impatient to truly learn. So instead, he decided he'd make others do the work for him and just take all the money. If Lord Business never even fully gained his master builder skills, maybe I really will be able to finally defeat him. On day 98, I prepared for the final battle, mining to gather extra blocks that I could use in the fight. Before I could leave, each of my friends came to offer words of encouragement. First, Bruce, the Lego villager.
You're one of the strongest fighters the Resistance has ever had, Zozo. I just want you to know, no matter how this ends, it's been an honor serving with you.
Then came Master Ren.
You have learned the ways of the Master Builder, Zozo. Remember them and use them wisely. And even Lord Business won't be able to defeat you.
And finally, Master Frost.
Be creative, Zozo. That's the most important thing. And it's something you're brilliant at. Lord Business will never be able to take that away from you.
Hearing all of this made me finally feel ready to take on the evil mastermind behind it all. On day 99, I made my way to Lord Business's business base, where I was sure to find him. On the way there, I saw a Lego kid playing in the savannah.
I believe in you, Zozo! You're my hero!
Thanks, kid. I'm gonna try my best. But when I arrived outside the business base, I noticed that it was heavily guarded by a gang of soul vultures. Oh no, how can I fight all of these, then take on Lord Business? I'll be outmatched. That's when Master Tony the Polypham suddenly appeared.
Don't you worry, buddy. I'll take care of the soul vultures. You get in there and take that businessman down.
Thank you, Master Tony. I couldn't do this without you. Master Tony ran in and started fighting the soul vultures. And while he was distracted, I ran right past him and used the key, dropped by the Gold Warrior, to enter the business base. I knew that key would come in handy. On day 100, with my tools gathered and my Master Builder status secured, I entered the inner sanctum of Lord Business's business base. The place was huge, with tall walls and a massive fountain in the middle. I proceeded forward through a treasure room filled with gold piles. He was waiting for me on the other side of the room, sitting in his giant golden throne, laughing evilly.
So you're finally here, Zozo, but I'm afraid you're already too late.
It's never too late.
Ha! That's what you think! My forces are ready to roll out, and they follow only my command. This whole world will be turned into one giant corporation, and I will be the CEO. Only a master builder could stop me now.
That's the thing, Lord Business. I am a master builder. I pulled out my hammer and prepared to battle the evil businessman for the sake of the world. He jumped off his chair, wielding a netherite sword, and tried to attack me. I quickly built a wall between us, and anytime he knocked the wall down, I built another.
Aren't you even going to fight back, Zozo? This is pathetic.
I am fighting. I'm fighting like a master builder. I blocked myself into the treasure room while Lord Business was breaking down my wall. I quickly started building a staircase. As he broke through, I leapt down onto him and hit him.
Ow! No fair!
You'd know these techniques if you ever bothered to learn them, Lord Business.
And you'd know this technique if you had money! Ender Creepers, attack!
Lord Business pulled a dirty trick. Doors around the room opened and heavy creepers started piling in. He was going to blow me sky high.
Face it, Zozo, you're outnumbered and outgunned. I've won!
Not yet, you haven't. It was time to put all my training to good use for one last move. While the heavy creepers chased me, I mined a huge hole into the ground with my hammer. I pushed Lord Business into the hole. I looked at the creepers and they followed me as I jumped into the hole.
Zozo, what are you doing?
Finishing this! As Lord Business and the heavy creepers scrambled around, trying to grab me, I placed down the ladders and climbed out of the hole.
Zozo, you fool! Let me out of this pit! The heavy creepers will explode! It'll destroy us both!
Not quite, Lord Business. Boom! They all exploded, destroying Lord Business with them as I ran from the room. It was finally over. I'd become a master builder and saved the whole world. On day 1, I spawned in as an awesome Warden Ninja, right in the middle of my Warden Ninja hideout. But there were no other Warden Ninjas around. In fact, the whole place was full of Dread Ghouls. While several of them were standing at attention, one of them was standing back and giving orders.
Destroy everything, my Dark Warriors! We are under orders to eliminate every last warden ninja we can find!
I didn't understand why this was happening, but I wasn't going to take it lying down. Who's giving you these orders, you cowardly Dreadghoul? That's when I heard booming footsteps behind me. I turned and saw a huge dark figure approaching me. I was only a tiny warden ninja, and I didn't have any weapons yet, so he terrified me.
I gave the orders. I am Shogun Skull, the ruler of this land. And all who defy me will be destroyed, including you.
Shogun Skull pulled out a huge katana. He looked like he meant business. I needed to activate my special power, Ultimate Stealth. I practically turned invisible, immediately causing Shogun Skull and his Dreadghouls to lose my trace.
Where did he go?
He's using his ninja abilities to run away like a coward. No matter, we'll find and destroy him another day.
As much as I was ashamed to admit it, all I could do was run. I got out of there and ran out into the alien fields, looking for some food to satisfy my hunger. I managed to find some baked potatoes, but they were being guarded by a band of 3 brigands. Excuse me, brigands, would you be able to give me one of your baked potatoes? I'm really hungry.
Would love to, man, love to. But here's the thing, they're all mine, and I want them all. So that's gonna be a no.
The brigands attacked me, even though I was unarmed, and I needed to fight back. Luckily, my unarmed attacks actually did a lot of damage, and soon I defeated all 3 of them. That must be my ninja martial arts training kicking in. There's hope for me yet. On day 2, after eating some of those baked potatoes and storing the rest, I left the alien fields for the Ebony Woods, looking for the right place to build a base. The Ebony Woods are dark and mysterious, perfect for a secretive warden ninja. I used my martial arts powers to start punching down a tree and gathered up the resources to make myself a crafting bench and used it to create a wooden pickaxe. Then I mined into the ground for some stone to make my first set of stone tools and a basic stone katana of my own. Now we're cooking with gas. I used my new tools to clear a tree and start building a new secretive ninja base. I did some mining underground because I wanted the base to be a secret, so most of it would need to be under the surface. It's a good start. I'll do more later, but first, I need to figure out what's going on around here and why Shogun Skull is putting a hit on warden ninja heads. I went exploring around the Ebony Forest, looking for clues, until I found another gang of Dreadghouls that Shogun Skull had sent after me. Big mistake, guys. This time, I'm armed. I pulled out my stone katana and made short work of the Dreadghoul gang, leaving only one remaining. Tell me everything I need to know about Shogun Skull.
You fool! Even me talking about him seals my doom. You should know, you are a key part of his…
Boom! The last Dreadghoul exploded! It must have been Shogun Skull's doing. He really was powerful. But what was he trying to say? I'm a key part of what? Better keep watching if you want to find out with me. On day 3, I continued searching around the Ebony Forest. I needed some kind of lead, some kind of vital clue, before I could progress any further. That's when I happened upon a small hut in the middle of the woods, where a strange man was just sitting around. Hi, I'm Zozo. Who are you?
I'm a nomad.
Oh yeah? What does that mean?
It means I used to wander around a lot, but since I got old and settled down, I don't do much traveling these days. What brings you to the Ebony Woods, Zozo?
He gave me some mushroom stew, and I sat down to talk to him. Well, I'm a warden ninja, and I used to live in a big warden ninja hideout with others like me. But then Shogun Skull attacked, and now I think I might be the only one left.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. You know, things were once more peaceful across the land. There were dangerous creatures around, and sometimes a fight would happen, sure. But overall, we lived in harmony. Until one day, all of the leaders across the land suddenly disappeared, and the Shogun Skull rose up, taking on everything and everyone. He's the uncontested ruler now.
But we can't just let that happen. What should we do, Nomad?
It won't be easy, but your quest is simple, Zozo. You're going to destroy Shogun Skull.
From day 4 to day 5, I still had more questions about how the world got this way. I just didn't understand how one person could take over the whole world.
Well, Zozo, you must understand that the Shogun didn't just win by sheer brute strength. In his Shogun's palace to the east, he made some valuable alliances with different groups. First, he made an alliance with the Dreadghoul army,
promising all the land and food they could want if they helped him rise to power. Then, he made a deal with the bandit warlord, the leader of the brigands. They could loot and pillage as they pleased, as long as they helped him crush his enemies. Dread ghouls and brigands started attacking any village or settlement they could find, crushing the opposition to Shogun Skull's rule. But the leaders? Nobody really knows how Shogun Skull got rid of them. He hired some other mysterious group to do his dirty work for him, but who they are has always remained a secret. In other words, to defeat Shogun Skull, there are a lot of other enemies you'll need to fight your way through first.
From day 6 to day 8, I thanked the Nomad for all the information he gave me and decided to set off and return to my base. It was getting dark, and I knew that all the mobs would be coming out soon. But on the way back to my base, I saw an innocent pink pixie cornered by a vicious feral squall golem. I needed to intervene. It's ninja time! Pulling out my stone katana, I ran in and fought the squall golem. He was much bigger and tougher than your average dread ghoul, but in the end, my stone blade and ninja training won out. The squall golem was defeated, and the pink pixie was grateful for me for saving her life.
That was so heroic. Thank you. I majorly owe you for this one.
It's no biggie. I'm Zozo, the warden ninja. Who are you?
I'm Polly, the pink pixie. And is there any way I can help you with your quest?
How about you come stay at my base for a while and we figure something out together?
That sounds like a good idea.
So Polly and I returned to my base. I continued mining underground and created a cool room for her to stay in.
I'm pretty pleased with this.
Good. Now, I'm on a quest to defeat Shogun Skull. Do you have any idea what might be a good place to start?
Well, Shogun Skull is one of the greatest warriors in the world. You're gonna need to train really hard if you want to get good enough to fight him directly. Maybe you should seek out some kind of ninja master to train you.
That's an amazing idea, Polly! And so I had my next step, seeking out a ninja master to train me. And if you want to find out what happens next, keep watching until the end. Some big surprises are coming. From day 9 to day 10, I went to an underground cavern with my stone pickaxe to mine some iron for my next set of weapons, armor, and tools. I managed to gather up some iron ore when a huge hydra suddenly appeared in the cavern with me. There was no way I'd be able to fight such a powerful monster directly, so I activated my ultimate stealth and sneaked away to the exit. Sometimes the best way to fight is to not fight at all. From day 11 to day 12, I took the iron back to my base. I created a furnace and smelted it into iron ingots, which I then used to make iron armor, some iron tools, and an iron katana. And with all my fancy new gear and weapons, me and Polly the Pink Pixie decided to journey out to a nearby bayou to look for more clues. After some exploring, we stopped for a minute to talk. So Polly, what do you know about Shogun Skull? I'm trying to collect all the information I can. I think it might help me in my quest.
Well, in addition to his dread ghoul and brigand armies, I know he has an elite group, 3 warriors spread out across the land who help enforce his will.
3 elite warriors? Sounds like I better take care of them before I take on Shogun Skull himself. Who are these 3 warriors?
There's the Gold Creeper, a walking weapon of mass destruction that people always fear is gonna blow up. Then there's the Fire Elemental, a powerful being with mastery over flame. And finally, there's the Crimson Wizard, a crafty and intelligent sorcerer who has mastered the Mystic.
Wow, sounds like I've got my work cut out for me then. Before I could ask any more questions, a bunch of monster mushrooms attacked us. Even with my iron katana, it wasn't easy to take them down. These mushrooms meant business. But when I did take them down, I transformed into a bigger, stronger Warden Ninja with 20 hearts. Whoa, this is awesome! Better stick around to see what I transform into next.
That's rad, Zozo. But hey, maybe next time we should go somewhere a little drier. This bayou is just gross.
From day 13 to day 15, Polly and I returned to my base. I decided to spruce it up a little, adding some plants and other decorative improvements, and actually decided to make myself a proper room. Just because it's a secret underground base doesn't mean it has to be drab and dreary. That's when I remembered what Polly had said to me.
Maybe next time we should go somewhere a little drier. This bayou is just gross.
And it hit me, what could be drier than the Mojave Desert? Maybe I'd have some luck finding someone there. After taking some time to rest, I went out to the Mojave Desert. It was just as dry and hot as I expected, but there didn't seem to be much going on. That's when I was attacked by the Desert Lord, the ruler of the desert.
Because he was on his own home turf, he was even faster and stronger than a ninja, and it was too late for me to use ultimate stealth. I broke away from the fight and stood back, but the Desert Lord still seemed ready to battle. You are a trespasser on this land. This is my desert, and I'll never let you or the diabolical Shogun Skull you serve claim it. Wait, there's been a misunderstanding. I don't work for Shogun Skull. I want to defeat him. Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed you was working for the Dread Shogun. But why? Didn't all the Warden Ninjas used to work for him? My mind was blown. It all made sense now. The mysterious third group who worked with the Shogun Skull, it must have been the Warden Ninjas. But why was he trying to destroy them now? Desert Lord, you've given me a lot to think over. Would you like to come back to my base and we can work together to defeat Shogun Skull? Well, I hate to leave my desert, my true home. For now, it seems working together is the most sensible choice. Let's go, Warden Ninja. The name's Zozo. Follow me. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base with the Desert Lord. I mined a new underground room for him, complete with a bed and even a few sandblocks, just to help him feel at home. It's not exactly the desert, but thank you, Zozo. This'll do. Seeing as how exploring had helped me discover plenty of interesting new things so far, I decided to continue visiting new locations, so I left my base once more. I went out to the prairie next to see what I could find. That's where I ran into a camel. Hey, Mr. Camel, I'm Zozo. Is there anything I can help you with?
The name's Joe. And as a matter of fact, there is. For the longest time, I've wanted to build a nice beach house on the Rainbow Beach, but it's infested by wraiths now. If you could help me clean out those wraiths so I can build my beach house, I'll give you a weapon I've been holding on to for a while. Something you might find useful.
That sounds like a good deal to me, Joe. From day 20 to day 22, I journeyed out to the Rainbow Beach to complete my mission for Joe the Camel. It was a really beautiful place. I could see why he wanted a beach house out here. When I ran into the group of wraiths he told me about, I drew my katana and charged in, slicing and dicing in a way that would make any Warden Ninja proud. Soon, they were all defeated. I'm getting the hang of this whole ninja thing. Then, I saw something quickly moving towards me and noticed it was the Gold Creeper, one of the elite Shogun Skull warriors that Polly had told me about. Oh no, I gotta bounce. I didn't have any long-range weapons, so all I could do was run for my life as the Gold Creeper chased me. If it exploded while I was too close, I was doomed. But it kept chasing, getting closer and closer and closer. It started to get too close for comfort, so I jumped forward into some nearby water, hoping it would at least provide some protection. Boom! The Gold Creeper exploded! It was the biggest explosion I'd ever seen, taking a huge chunk out of the beach around me. But I'd survived! I'd completed Joe the Camel's quest, and I'd defeated one of Shogun Skull's 3 elite warriors. I'd call this a successful day. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the prairie and met with Joe the Camel again. He was pleased to find out I'd gotten rid of the wraiths, and less pleased to find out the Golden Creeper had blown a big hole into the Rainbow Beach.
Still, a deal's a deal, kid, and you held up your end. You can take this set of throwing axes I have. Since you're a ninja, you'll probably benefit from some thrown weapons, perfect for those stealthy kinds of attacks.
Wow, these will be so useful! Thanks, Joe!
Don't mention it. If you need me, I'll be off constructing my beach house.
With that quest taken care of, I decided to continue exploring the world. I reached the scenic Red Oak Forest, where I ran into a gang of mossy skeletons working for Shogun Skull.
You're in some real trouble now. No bones about it.
That was an awful pun. Eat axe. I tried out one of my new throwing axes on the first of the mossy skeletons, defeating him instantly. Then I pulled out my iron katana to deal with the rest. It didn't take long for me to defeat them, all except one, who I needed some information from. Tell me what Shogun Skull is planning!
Ha! You're deluding yourself if you think you can beat him. He just sent out the Armored Vindicator. If that thing gets you, you're doomed! Doomed!
With a strike of my katana, I finished him off. That gave me enough XP to level up, getting bigger, jumping up to 30 hearts, and getting access to my Warden Sonic Boom ability. This will be useful for helping me take on that Armored Vindicator guy, if I ever even see him. From day 27 to day 31, I started making my way back to my base through the Ebony Forest. I was feeling pretty good about all my recent victories and the new abilities and weapons I'd gained. I'm actually feeling pretty unstoppable right now. And that's exactly when the Armored Vindicator hopped out and attacked me. He was just as big and scary as the mossy skeleton had implied, and he was wielding a menacing axe.
Your journey is at an end, Warden Ninja. If you give up now, I can promise it'll be relatively painless.
I'll never give up. I'm willing to fight you to the bitter end.
Good. I was hoping you'd say that.
The Armored Vindicator attacked once more. Every hit he gave me was shockingly damaging. Even with all my upgrades, I couldn't beat him at my current strength. Instead, I turned and ran back towards my base, narrowly managing to outrun and lose the Armored Vindicator. That would be a battle for another day. When I reached my base, the Desert Lord and Polly the Pink Pixie seemed impressed with my new size. Looks like that training is really paying off, Zozo. You're looking swole.
It's true, just so much bigger and stronger than you used to be.
And since you're here, I've also got something that I think you'd like. My research suggests that if you go to the Rose Fields and seek out the Sergeant, he may be able to give you some information that'll help you with your quest. Wow, that's amazing news!
Just be careful out there. I've heard that the Sergeant isn't exactly the friendliest guy out there.
With that in mind, I left my base and headed in the direction of the Rose Fields. From day 32 to day 35, following the Desert Lord's instructions, I went out to the Rose Fields. There, I saw the Sergeant sitting down and meditating among the roses. I didn't expect it'd be so easy to find him. I approached the Sergeant and called out to him. "Excuse me, Mr. Sergeant. I've been told you have some interesting information. Could we talk about it?" But the Sergeant didn't seem like he wanted to talk. Instead, he got up, ran towards me, and started fighting me with his fists. I didn't even have time to reason with him. All I could do was fight back against his onslaught of punches. After I survived for long enough, the Sergeant relaxed. He'd had his fun.
Nice skills, kid. Sorry, what can I say? I like a good fight. What information did you want?
I've been told you know a lot about Shogun Skull. I'm trying to defeat him.
Ha, Shogun Skull. I fought against his army back in the day. I was involved in a lot of those battles. What is it you want to know about him?
I want to know what the Warden Ninjas had to do with his rise to power, and I want to know why he wants us all destroyed now.
That much is simple. As part of Shogun Skull's takeover plans, he needed to destroy the leaders and guardians of the free people to demoralize them and break their spirits. While his armies fought their armies, he needed an elite group of assassins to take out the high-value targets. That's where the Warden Ninjas came in. They're excellent assassins, and with their stealth skills, they could sneak in and get the job done. And they did their job very, very well. But once their job was done and Shogun Skull was in power, he knew that if the Warden Ninjas could help him into power, they might also be able to topple his throne. So he sent out his armies of dread ghouls and brigands to destroy every Warden Ninja. You, kid, are probably the last one left.
From day 36 to day 39, I returned to my base. Knowing that I was public enemy #1 for Shogun Skull made me realize I could really do with some better armor, so I asked Polly for ideas.
I think the Shogun has a base in the tropical rainforest where you might be able to find some diamonds. Diamond armor and a diamond katana would be a huge help for you.
Excellent idea, Polly. I'll go there now. I didn't waste any time getting to the tropical rainforest and beginning my search for the enemy base. On the way there, I ran into an air elemental that lives in the forest.
Excuse me, kind sir. I have a quest I need help with. Some nasty dead worms have invaded my beautiful rainforest. If you see them, do me a kindness and perform a little pest control, would you?
Of course. I'll definitely get rid of those dead worms if I see them. I kept searching until I struck gold. Well, not actual gold. I found the enemy base, guarded by a pair of dread ghouls, and it was time to fight my way inside. From day 40 to day 43, the fight began. First with the dread ghouls. That was an extremely quick battle. I pulled out my throwing axes and threw one at each of them, defeating them instantly. Then I ran into the base, ready for the real fight to begin. And it would definitely be a real fight because the Armored Vindicator was in there, waiting for me.
Finally, I can finish what I started and destroy you, Zozo. At least this time, you won't run away like a sad little coward like you did before.
No, this time I really am going to fight you with all I've got. The Armored Vindicator charged at me. I unleashed the Sonic Boom, stunning him. While he was stunned, I finished him off with my powerful ninja swing. I told you I'd beat you, Armored Vindicator. I'm a Warden Ninja of my word. With him gone, I searched around the room until I found a chest.
Just like Polly the Pink Pixie had told me, there were diamonds inside. Looks like my armor and weapons are about to level up. From day 44 to day 49, I crafted my diamonds into a powerful diamond katana and even had some diamonds left over to make a full set of diamond armor. I'd hate to have to go against me using this bad boy. After that, I left the base with my new diamond katana in hand, looking forward to finding something to use it on. And as luck would have it, I happened upon a small gang of vicious dead worms. Hey, the air elemental told me to get rid of these. Time to kill 2 worms with 1 sword. Okay, a few more than 2. With my diamond katana, I defeated all the dead worms with ease and destroyed the infestation. Not even the Shogun himself could deny I was stronger than ever now. From day 50 to day 53, as I traveled further through the tropical rainforest, I came upon a cave that I sensed an unusual amount of power coming out of. This must have something to do with Shogun's skull. I should go investigate, just in case. But when I was about to enter the cave, a magical genie came floating out of it.
Halt, traveler. You are approaching the cave of the fire elemental. If you wish to enter, then you need to answer my riddle.
I remembered that the fire elemental was the second of the elite warriors working for Shogun's skull. I needed to answer the riddle, get in there, and defeat him. Okay, what's your riddle?
I belong to you, but your friends use me more often. What am I?
It was a challenging one. What do you think? Do you know the answer to the riddle? If you do, let me know down in the comments to help me out. Can you repeat the riddle?
I belong to you, but your friends use me more often. What am I?
That's tough. Wait, I've got it! You're my name. It belongs to me, but my friends use it more often when they talk to me.
Correct. You may pass through.
I entered the cave and saw the fire elemental waiting for me. He sent a few fire blasts my way, which I was luckily able to dodge. I fired a sonic boom at the fire elemental, then ran in with my diamond katana. With a few quick, decisive swipes, the fire elemental was destroyed. 2 of Shogun Skull's 3 warriors were destroyed, and I was ready to level up. I got bigger, stronger, and my hearts grew to 40. I had also developed ninja speed, making me faster than ever before. I'm on the path to becoming a true ninja. I bet the Shogun is quivering in his boots. From day 54 to day 57, I was using my new ninja speed to zip through the forest. My powers were growing, but I needed some kind of way to hone my skills. Why can't I find the Ninja Master Mentor? I've searched everywhere and I still can't find him. Unless I've already found him and didn't even know. That's when it hit me. It was right under my nose from the very beginning. The nomad in his little hut in the ebony forest. The nomad who'd known a suspicious amount about what was going on in the world. I need to go back to the nomad right now. So I sped right back to the small hut in the forest, only to see the nomad outside again, waiting for me.
I wondered when you'd be back, Zozo. Glad you finally figured it all out. So, are you ready to begin your training?
From day 58 to day 62, the Nomad Master began his training. He said there would be 3 lessons. The first would be cutting down trees to practice my sword swings and to help me focus.
If you can slice through a tree, then no enemy should pose a challenge to you.
Next, he made me practice sword fighting with him. He was a tough opponent, but I could feel myself getting better as the sparring went on. And for the third lesson, he released a giant mummy scorpion and got it to chase me around until I finally built up the courage to defeat it with my diamond katana. Afterwards, I returned to the Nomad Master's hut.
You have done well, Zozo, and proven you are worthy. I'll teach you my special technique, Ultimate Slash. Much stronger than a regular slash. Use it wisely.
Thank you, Master. I will use it with honor. From day 63 to day 66, I returned to my base, only to see it under attack by a gang of dread ghouls straight from the Shogun's palace. Hey, get away from my base! I pulled out my diamond katana and ran in, taking them out with my ninja speed and ultimate slashes. It didn't take long for me to defeat them all, and that's when the Desert Lord ran up to me. Zozo, we need your help. Some of those dread ghouls kidnapped Polly the Pink Pixie. We need to get her back. Oh no, where did they take her? Out into the ebony forest. You need to get after them, quickly. Don't worry, Desert Lord, I'm on it. From day 67 to day 70, I used my ninja speed to run back through the ebony forest looking for the dread ghouls that kidnapped Polly. It didn't take long for me to find them. Don't worry, Polly, I'm coming to save you! Thanks to all my training, these dread ghouls weren't a challenge for me. I slashed through them with my diamond katana until only me and Polly remained.
That was amazing, Zozo, thank you. You saved my life from all those dread ghouls.
I'm so sorry for ever letting you get kidnapped in the first place, Polly. Let's go back to the base. We returned to the base, and I decided that after all this, I needed to put in an extra line of defense, building a defensive wall around the base's entrance. Better safe than sorry. I can't risk another attack while I'm away like that again. From day 71 to day 74, I wasn't sure where to go next. I knew that I needed to defeat the Crimson Wizard before I could take on Shogun Skull himself, but I wasn't sure where to find him. So instead, I decided to go back to one of the deadliest enemies I'd left behind before. With my new skills and my diamond katana, I returned to the underground cavern where I'd faced the Hydra before. As soon as I entered the cave, I blasted him with a powerful sonic boom, momentarily stunning him, and ran in with my ninja speed, hitting him with Ultimate Slash again and again, faster than he could even regenerate from it. Thankfully for both of us, the Hydra tapped out and agreed to tell me anything I wanted to know.
You're looking for the Crimson Wizard, right? No worries, I know exactly where he is. You just need to go to the Weeping Witch Forest. He's guarded by some brigands. Just go after him and leave me alone, please.
I left the Hydra to his own devices and ran off. I had a Crimson Wizard to defeat. From day 75 to day 78, I followed the advice given to me by the Hydra and traveled all the way to the Weeping Witch Forest. A place like this is a perfect hideout for an evil wizard. Why didn't I think of this sooner? I continued to go further in until I fell down a hill and found myself surrounded by brigands, just like the Hydra told me.
You wandered right into our traps, Zozo. There's no way you're ever gonna escape us here.
I don't want to escape, brigand. You and your bosses are the ones I've come here for. With my ninja speed and my diamond katana, I zipped from brigand to brigand, taking out each one with a single strike. Once they were down, all that was left to do was hunt down the Crimson Wizard. But the last thing I expected was for him to come to me instead. The Crimson Wizard appeared right in front of me and fired an energy blast that took out a number of my hearts. It was clear that he was the strongest of the Shogun Skull's 3 elite warriors.
This is hardly even a challenge. Why don't you show me your good time, Zozo? Have you come this far just to perish?
How's this for a good time? While the Crimson Wizard was distracted by his own gloating, I ran in and struck him with my katana, hitting him so hard and fast, he was immediately destroyed. Probably should have fully defeated me before you started bragging, Crimson Wizard. And this means that I've defeated all 3 of the Elite Warriors. And that clearly meant something because I leveled up into my strongest form yet, with 60 hearts. It's time to finally defeat Shogun Skull. From day 79 to day 84, I returned to my base to give Polly the Pink Pixie and the Desert Lord the good news. They looked amazed at my size and abilities.
This is incredible, Zozo.
It's amazing to see how far you've come, Zozo. We're so proud of you.
Thanks, guys. I think I'm ready to defeat Shogun Skull. Do you have any idea where I can find the Shogun's palace?
I can help you there, Zozo. I went there once. It's deep in the Zelkova Forest, and I can lead you there.
Thank you, Desert Lord. Let's go! From day 85 to day 89, the Desert Lord and I traveled to the far east into the Zelkova Forest. We stopped for a moment for one last discussion. Desert Lord, it'll be too dangerous from here. I'll go alone.
Are you sure, Zozo? I don't want you to get hurt.
It's okay. I've been training for almost 100 days. I believe I can do this.
Okay, Zozo. I wish you luck.
And with that, the Desert Lord and I went our separate ways. From day 90 to day 94, I traveled deeper into the Zelkova Forest, searching for the Shogun's palace. It's gotta be around here somewhere. Where could Shogun Skull be hiding?
Right behind you.
I turned around just in time to see Shogun Skull standing right behind me. Before I could fight back, he hit me and everything went black. When I woke up again, I was in the Badlands, miles away from where I was supposed to be, with Osiris standing right in front of me. You're not who I wanted to fight, but I guess you'll have to do. I still had my diamond katana, thankfully, and used Ultimate Slash on Osiris. He wasn't that hard to defeat, but knowing how far I was behind on my plans to defeat Shogun Skull now, I felt terrible. All I could do was make my way back to my base and figure out a new plan. This is gonna be a long week. From day 95 to day 97, I continued making my way back through the Badlands, frustrated that Shogun Skull and his minions had put me so far behind schedule. And speak of the devil, a gang of dread ghouls emerged from behind some rocks.
It's over, Zozo. We're going to be the ones to take you down.
Better mobs have tried and failed. I don't fancy your chances. I didn't have much time to waste on these guys, so I hit them with a sonic boom, then finished the rest of them off with a diamond katana. Shogun Skull, your end is near! On day 98, I returned to my base, exhausted from all the setbacks that had slowed me down and gotten in my way. I returned to find Polly the Pink Pixie and the Desert Lord waiting outside and looking equally sad for me. I'm so sorry that all of this happened, Zozo. You've been facing the impossible. Perhaps we put too much pressure on you.
Maybe the Desert Lord is right, Zozo. It took a whole organization of warden ninjas to deliver Shogun Skull into power. Maybe it was just wishful thinking to believe that one warden ninja would be enough to overthrow him.
Guys, we can't afford to think like that. We need hope if we were ever going to win this thing. Shogun Skull is throwing everything at us, and that's because he's scared. Because he knows, deep down, that I can defeat him. So let's keep pushing and prove that evil jerk right. That seemed to pep them both back up, and if you want to support our adventures and see more, be sure to hit like and subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss another Zozo video. Zozo, if you believe it's truly time for the final battle, I'll lead you to the Shogun's palace again. Let's bring his reign of terror to an end, once and for all. That's what I'm talking about. Lead the way, Desert Lord. I'm ready to do this. On day 99, following the Desert Lord through the Zelkova Forest, I reached the Shogun's palace where we bid farewell. Of course, Shogun Skull was never gonna let me just waltz in. The gates opened, and first, he sent out a band of brigands to attack me.
We've been promised a real good payday if we can destroy you, Zozo.
That's money you'll never get to spend. I ran in with my diamond katana, supported by my now iron willpower. I'd never let these brigands defeat me. I kept fighting until not a single one of them was left, and only I was standing. Who's next, Shogun Skull? I can take anyone you throw at me. But the next group of mobs didn't come from the palace. They snuck up behind me. It was a gang of silent assassins. They were much tougher than the brigands, but with my expert diamond katana skills, I was able to still defeat them all. By this point, I was getting tired, but I still had the will to fight. Is that all you got, Shogun? The gates opened again, and out stepped a huge warrior. It was the bandit warlord, the leader of the brigands who'd helped the Shogun rise to power all those years ago.
You owe me, Zozo. You've destroyed so many of my brigands. Do you have any idea how much effort it will take to replace them all? For that, I've decided I'm going to destroy you myself.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I unleashed my sonic boom, blasting the bandit warlord right in the chest. But he tanked it. He was completely unharmed.
Ha! Pathetic. That barely tickled. Do you really think such a feeble attempt would really defeat me, the mighty bandit chief, second only to the Shogun himself? This is going to be fun.
Worried that this could be the end, I pulled out one of my axes and threw it directly at the bandit warlord. To my surprise, it destroyed him instantly. Oh, I guess he was just bragging. Huh. With his guard force taken care of, all that was left was to enter the palace and battle the Shogun himself. On day 100, I entered the Shogun's palace and found the man himself, Shogun Skull, waiting for me.
Well done, Zozo. You've proven yourself and fought with honor. For that, I will give you the privilege of a warrior's death. You deserve little else.
All that bluster can't disguise how scared you are, Shogun Skull. I know the truth. You never would have gotten to where you are without people like me. And what the Warden Ninja gives, the Warden Ninja can take away. That's the true way of the ninja.
How arrogant, Zozo. Do you really believe you can take away this?
Shogun Skull began to transform into an even larger, more dangerous version of himself. The strongest I'd ever seen him.
No more talking, Zozo. It ends now.
Well, at least we can agree on that. The battle began! The two of us clashed katanas. We seemed equally matched in skill, but because of his dark magic, Shogun Skull was bigger and stronger. For a moment, I was worried it was over for me, when suddenly, my warrior spirit kicked back in, and I found the will to fight again, and I also miraculously regained all of my health. I fought harder than I ever had before, hitting Shogun Skull again and again and again, until he was almost defeated. I'd never seen him look so weak and helpless. I charged up all of my strength, and with a single blast of my sonic boom, Shogun Skull was destroyed, and peace restored to the land once more. I love a happy ending.